Let's baby! Hello and welcome to another episode of Volume 1, the Anime and Manga Podcast, where we highlight and discuss new series each week. But today we're back again with more One Piece, aka more Done Piece, which means that today my name is Josh Senor Pink Michaels, and I am joined by
Mehgan, Baby 5 Perrine!
Woo!
Yay!
Dressrosa Part 2, let's go!
Let's go, let's pop off.
Let's pop off. If you're watching the video version of this, then you probably noticed that we got a little bit of a different setup going on right now. And that Mehgan is wearing a mask.
Yeah,
and if you're listening only and you hear something a little off, it's because Mehgan is wearing a mask because she's a little sicky right now.
I'm a little sicky, sorry guys. I contacted the white lead, disease. So
the infamous.
It is, people say it's not contagious, but I just want to be extra safe.
Extra safe.
For Josh's sake.
Yeah.
But yeah, we barely show this part of the set now, so it is really interesting to see what you guys will say about it, because I feel like we haven't shown this part of side in forever.
Yeah. And on top of the mask and everything in the extra distance that me and Mehgan put between ourselves, there's also a huge piece of plexiglass separating us because the show must go on. Done Piece every week. And we could have just done a little Zoom call thing, but we're trying to make these episodes the best they can be. And so yes.
And Josh might get it.
Okay. All right. After I freaking built this freaking barrier, I hope not. Damn. Anyway, thank you for tuning in to another episode. Today is our Dressrosa Part 2 video. We're going to be covering chapters 735 through 768. Another awesome part of this saga. We only have one more part left, but this part, especially towards the end, really blew me away. And Oda once again has done it in the way that he has, reflected our world back at us through this these characters in this world.
I mean, for real. Every time, someone said that we should have an Oda, you son of a bitch counter on this podcast.
That was going to be one of the highlighted comments, yeah.
Oh, it was? Oh, so funny.
Yeah.
But yeah, it is just like, Oda, you son of a bitch. I really, obviously we get more of Law and Doffy. So this part was like, this is what Dressrosa is. Like, this is what we're getting to the meat of it,
Yeah.
It was awesome.
This was incredible. This was a really, really enjoyable read. And again, especially towards the end. But before we start going through it and giving sort of our general thoughts on this part of the arc, we have to get to our highlighted comment of the day. And the first one, there are going to be two. There were so many great comments on the last video. It was so hard to pick, and I narrowed it down to two, but we'll get through it quick. The first comment comes from Niku Piku, who says, fun fact, if you look at the cover page of chapter 668, Punk Hazard arc, you can see a box with 3 sake cups in front of Ace's grave. Oda showed that a certain someone went and paid his respects to Ace before his reveal. Love the attention to detail. Oda always does it.
Yeah, Luffy wouldn't have been able to do that. There's a lot of really, really cool cover pages.
Jinbei's up to something.
Jinbei's always trying to save a little, sea kitten. Like, what? And then also, we get a little ode to, Naruto. Luffy sitting down and sharing a meal with Naruto.
That was awesome. And Nami's sporting a Konoha leaf dress.
Come on now. Oda is on some demon time shit with this half.
Yeah, he really is. And he's having fun and he's doing what he does best. And I love to see it. He's having fun. We'll talk about it more, but he's having fun. He really liked what he did with that Usopp panel and that sort of that Luffy panel where he's reacting to Sabo and that face, because he does it 4 times and we're not even done with the arc yet. But the second highlighted comment comes from Dominic Dulepre Jr., who said, I really like when you guys gave Doffy as a Celestial Dragon the Oda You Son of a Bitch award. I would like to see this award given on every episode just because Oda is that guy. It could be maybe a little segment added to each episode and have a little physical award ready and everything. I don't know. I think it'd be pretty cool.
That's such a funny idea.
Yeah, that's such a great. I'd love to do it.
I just always think about that. I'm like, Oda. God, I just think of it. There's just moments in every arc that I'm like, God.
Yeah, there's 2 big Oda, you son of a bitch awards. I mean, that's the thing. I mean, is it 1 per episode? Because I'm going to be giving out these things like candy on Halloween. It's just going to be, left and right. I have 2 moments that really struck me as a Oda, you son of a bitch moment in this part.
Mm-hmm.
But this was incredible. This was absolutely like as we start to build towards the finale or the climax of this arc, things really start happening. We're getting let in more on who Doflamingo is as a character, his backstory, his childhood, what led him to become this sort of maniac, this villain. But,
or did anything.
Oh, but yeah, at the same time, showing that he always was that.
Yeah, that's why it's so perfect. It's just like, I think Oda does villains so great, and coming off of Hody,
yes.
It is like, there are just things, situations that people are put in, and, Oda likes to do this where they have 2 characters going through the same type of ordeals, and one chooses a different path than the other. And that's what makes, like a villain and a person who's like trying to do good or trying to prevent that from happening again, or trying to prevent like someone else turning into that type of person. And we saw it in Fishman Island, and we're seeing it here again in Dressrosa. And specifically, like, so many themes, like, like brothers, like actual blood bonds, like we're seeing that again, and it's like really cool to see that.
Yeah, and again, just holding up a mirror to our world, our society. I mean, if you would have told me that One Piece, because I oftentimes feel this way when I read One Piece, I don't know if I'm supposed to or not, but One Piece makes me fucking hate the government, but it makes me have a lot of faith in humanity and humans at the same time, and people at the same time. But that backstory just absolutely blew me away, because this is a character, Doflamingo, who was introduced a long time ago. This is a character whose backstory has been teased. We knew very little about this character for a long time, and to get the reveal of like who he is and where he came from, it's satisfying. It was so satisfying. Like, it lived up to the hype that I think I had, given it in my mind. This was something that I think is something that Oda always does, that I am constantly and consistently impressed by, because I think it's so hard to deliver, based on people's expectations of these awesome characters that you're introducing. But he seems to every time deliver. He did that with Robin, with Robin's backstory being teased for so long. And when we finally got it, it was like, this is everything. And similar to Doflamingo and Robin, Law. And in terms of just like ranking backstories, Law's backstory is kind of up there with Robin's in my mind.
Yeah,
as the best.
It's very sad. And as much as you want to hate the Don Quixote family, they're just so fucking cool.
Man,
all of them are so
cool.
And we get that backstory with young Law, and we see like baby 5, and we just see all of them like younger, and like Senior Pink, like what made him change into who he is today. Like, that fool was all suave, and now he's just like dressed like a baby.
Oh yeah, and I know, like, I don't know what is gonna happen to me, aka Senior Pink. I don't know what's gonna happen to me, but just based on like some thumbnails I've seen, and obviously the flashback, and seeing how different he looks in the flashback, I do know, or have this feeling, that we're going to get some explanation based on the things that I don't know any plot specific details, but just based on things I've kind of seen, reactions and stuff, I do think we're going to get some get a pretty crazy reason for why Senor Pink it looks the way he looks and is the way that he is today compared to how he was in all the flashbacks. So I'm looking forward to that too. It doesn't happen in this part, but something to look forward to in part 3.
I'm excited. I mean, I know we've seen a little bit of Baby 5, but I mean, Dressrosa is so long. We still have one more full episode. So, I mean, I'm sure we'll see more of it.
Yeah. And I also want to say too, when we're talking about comparisons, as we go further into Dressrosa, it's become like more and more obvious that comment that I mentioned in the last episode, the last video that we did, there's a lot of validity to what that comment was saying. How just like everything seems to kind of, again, it is kind of mirrored in the New World versus in the like first half, the East Blue kind of saga, or the first half of the story. Because again, seeing all the similarities between the Don Quixote family, the Baroque works, and how even now, like with Viola, like, you know, I saw it like explained or spelled out, and it is like, wow, like this is like almost like a 1-for-1, like that, you know, they're an evil group that has recruited all of these evil members and took over a kingdom by convincing its people that their king was evil and was out to harm them. At the same time, a princess of that kingdom like is working with them and then betrays them. And it's just like, you know, it's just so crazy, the comparisons, how they're so similar. And also, you know, you look at like what happens later with the steps, and just how like that just feels like I got Impel Down vibes from that. The way Luffy's teaming up and putting together, maybe he's not really trying to, but everybody's kind of drawn to him, this band of warriors.
Yeah.
And they have to kind of like, you know, there's levels for them to like, you know, traverse, I guess, or to reach. It's just like the first half I got strong Alabasta vibes. And now I'm getting kind of towards the middle of this arc some Impel Down vibes. But it's just really interesting to me how you know, Oda seems to have these things that he you know, really likes to do, number one, and then you know, is really, I think that there is some meaning and some significance to all that as well.
Yeah, and this is like one of the, I mean, I felt stakes before in One Piece, but I feel like the stakes in Dressrosa are way more believable for me. Like,
yeah.
Because Doflamingo is just willing to do anything to get his way, and like, it doesn't matter who is in his path to like, you know, cast aside or change the script on, you know, on someone. So this part of the arc, I was like, oh my gosh, like he put that whole birdcage up. I was like, it's battle royale. Like people are just dying in the streets. Like not only the Straw Hats are like fighting, but like people are dying. Like there's kids in the streets like crying over their dead relatives. Like it got really dark. Like a lot of the things in this part were dark as fuck. And it was just like, damn, like anything could happen really.
Yeah.
I mean, I know that the Straw Hats won't die, but you know, someone else might, or.
Yeah. One last thing that I wrote down is that, and I guess that's where my mind was going when I started mentioning the Alabasta thing too, just how like Oda also likes to base a lot of these things on real places, and you know, real events and real world situations. A lot of times those situations being, you know, tragic. But Dressrosa is obviously, like Alabasta was more Egypt. Dressrosa is Spain, is inspired by Spain. And just like we learn about in Law's backstory, the White Town, there were actually towns in the real world that got the nickname White Towns. One of them was in Italy, and just this little crazy homage that Oda, you know, pays to, or just like drops this little line in here to show you that this is based on this sort of this real actual place, because it was in Italy and they were making something, and it contained a lot of asbestos, and basically all the dust and stuff from the factories would fall down all over everything, creating like this like white blanket. Thus, you know, the nickname the White Town, right? People died, people got like cancer, people were killed. It was like generational. These diseases were passed down. It was a very, very real thing. And the person, so there's a line, this was like an article I read. I think the guy's name was like Majora's Mask on DeviantArt or something, but I was like, this is a really interesting article. But said that like in them doing their research, they found out that the person in this town in Italy who discovered that the white asbestos dust, that it was poisonous, that it was not good for them, was eating like a sandwich. He was like on a break or something, and it was him and his coworker, and they were eating a sandwich, and his coworker sandwich was covered in like white dust, and he asked him like, hey, do you want some of my sandwich? And he's like, no, I don't want to eat that. Like, I don't want your bread or something like that. And there's just a line, I think, where Law says when he's with the Don Quixote family and someone offers him bread, Law says like, no, I don't like bread. And it's just like this little thing to like tie these things together.
That's interesting.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's a combination of a lot of things, because this is something that is just like, again, the themes and what Oda is speaking to here is just, I mean, I don't know. I'm just constantly moved by what he's able to convey and just how he's able to like bring all of these like real problems to people through fiction and through this like story. But it's just incredible how he does that. And it's a bunch of tragedies and it's a bunch of situations, and even like, you know, you could say that White Town and all that, Flevens, I think is the name of the town. We do that in our world, and it's just like, that's why when I was reading it just kind of made me so upset, because again, with things like our iPhones and everything, like there was an ex-Apple employee who said like a long time ago, he's like, yeah, we're doing our best to like make these products the best we can, but if you knew how your iPhone was made, then you would never touch it again. Like, these are people who work for that company saying that.
It's always like, those people. It's always like, you know, people that work for McDonald's that are like, you have no idea what is actually in the food. Like, it's just like disgusting. Or like what they feed like pigs, like livestock, in order to like, you know, keep them fat or whatever. Like, of course it's like salt and stuff, but I mean, there's people that are posting like videos online of just like, they're like literally grinding trash. And there's like plastic in the trash. There's still like cardboard, like full things of trash that are like food. There's some food in there, but it's like, what? And they're just grinding it up into like a mill.
Yeah, but I mean, yeah. And,
like a dust.
And it all kind of goes back to just that idea of, you know, we don't, for the most part, we don't care where our shit comes from. You know, we just want cool shit.
Or I mean, it is just like how easily people, like human beings, are so quick to look out for themselves. Like with everyone that kind of just decided that it was contagious when it wasn't. It's all about, you know, like overall like knowledge, I guess. And they didn't have that, so they just were like, yeah, we're just gonna cut everyone off and kill everyone to stop this thing.
Yeah.
And it kind of just reminded me, of course, of like what we went through with like COVID and stuff. Oh, you can't say COVID. What do you say?
I mean,
it doesn't matter now.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I already did.
Yeah.
Anyway, just like it kind of like, I mean, just like really
the pandemic
is that's what you say, huh?
I don't know.
It's relatable. And it was just really crazy.
Yeah, you never expect to see these things. I mean, you've seen them so many times, and again, just these powerful messages, they keep popping up, and that's what I love about One Piece and Oda, that he always manages to do that.
Yeah.
And it never feels like it's forced or shoved down our throats. It's always just, it always fits within the story he's telling. And it's powerful. It's really powerful. I mean, I found that whole portion of this arc extremely, extremely powerful and moving, for sure. The last thing I'll say, just because I have so many good things to say about this portion, is I do miss the gang. All right, I do miss my guy Brook. I know you miss Chopper,
of course,
Nami, Sanji. I miss them. They're
doing bigger and better things right now.
Yeah,
we'll see them soon.
Yeah. But the star, I always like to do this, like of these little portions, the highlight character, the person who kind of stole the show outside of Law and Doflamingo, and the character that we meet in that flashback. But Usopp was up to some wild shit this part.
He was wild, and we get some information that I think is very important.
Yes.
And I am excited to see how he moves forward with that. And also, I mean, we could talk about it, but there was that moment of like, okay, Usopp, we thought, you know, it's like every time we think we're past it, it's just like right back to square one. And I get it. Like, it's, you know, like true nature, or like, you know, it's harder to unlearn the things that you've always done. But in this instance, it just felt like it was just done for that moment. You know?
Yeah.
Instead of it being just him being like, you know what, I'm gonna be over here, and then I'm gonna come to you guys to help you, instead of the opposite of just like, running away. That's the only thing I was like, okay, I mean, I guess.
Yeah.
Like, it didn't really feel believable to me.
Yeah, I mean, I love Usopp. Usopp's one of my favorite characters. Everybody knows that. But yeah, seeing that ability That something that Usopp was able to tap into, or something that happened. I mean, the implications of that. What does that mean? How is that going to change things? How is Usopp going to be able to use that? What caused it? All these questions. Yeah.
I mean, it is just, it goes back to what I think is like the Cloboterman. Like, he was the only one that was able to see it. And I don't know if it was just because of how dedicated he was to the Mary, but that was also spiritual too. So
yes, he could see spirits.
I think so. I don't know.
Where does he get that from? I mean, I have a lot of theories this time around. One of which was a theory I had mid-read and was instantly proved to not be a thing. But I still think it's so crazy because I was so sure this was going to happen. So when we get to that I'll mention it. But it's not real. But I was convinced that this was what was happening.
Okay.
But I love Usopp, and I think for me, Usopp, outside of course, Law, Doflamingo, and that character in the flashback that we meet, Usopp was a big highlight for me. And outside of, like you said, the frustration with that moment of just feeling like Usopp, I thought we were past this running away thing. But it's for that moment. It's to give more emphasis and to give more power to that moment.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Anyway, I can't wait to start going through this. I know we've talked a lot at the beginning of this episode, but there's just so many interesting things. I mean, this is what's beautiful about One Piece, and I'm so excited to talk about all these things. So unless you have anything else to say, Megan, you ready to start going through it?
Yeah.
All right. Let's do it. All right. And things are going to get we're going to try our best, okay? I might have to take the sunglasses off at some point again because it's so hard to fucking see, dude. These are good glasses, all
They're
right?
like the polarizing ones, right?
They really are.
Polarized.
Yeah, they are. And I can't, they're doing what they're supposed to do. They're blind. I feel like, what's his name? Fujitora.
That's so fucked up, dude.
Why is that fucked up?
You look good in aviators, though.
Oh shit! Thank you.
Yeah, it's funny to see your hair like that.
Yeah, it's taking me back.
Yeah, it really is.
But we're gonna do our best, and I should be used to this about One Piece by now. The groups and how everybody's split up and how everybody's trying to get to different levels in different places. But man, this is a lot. This felt like a lot, and so we're gonna do our best to kind of get through it. And give time to the things that were highlight moments for us. But where we left off, or where we jump back in, is Sabo is taking Luffy's place, or Lucy's place, in the ring. The gang is trying to enter. The Luffy gang is trying to enter the palace through the secret passage, and Frankie's squaring off with Senor Pink. Which over the course of this entire portion, there's never really a victor at this point.
Yeah, and I do like towards the end they kind of are like on the same terms. Not like on the same terms of like we're not gonna fight, but they just like agree on some things, and I'm like, that's funny.
Yeah, dude, there was a moment, like there was an Usopp moment and a Frankie moment that had me dying, like on the floor laughing. It was so funny, and the way that they square up Frankie and Senor Pink, and just it was a for sure highlight moment for me too. But we already see a little bit more of Senor Pink right here. He is truly a man of class, this guy. Okay. I love his despite the absurdity of his character design, he also is simultaneously like a little badass at the same time.
Yeah, he's like, I mean, I feel like he's very cool, but I'm not sure exactly why. He's very cool because he like doesn't give a shit.
But also he has that line where he says like, Frankie's trying to bait him into using his powers, and he's like, I swim when I want to swim. I was like, damn, son. And he was like protecting one of his comrades. I mean, he's a hard-boiled guy.
He's hard. I don't know what that means.
Yeah, I mean, I just think he's just like a man's man.
Hard-boiled. So if you're able to be in boiling water,
it just means you're a man and you're freaking hard. That's part of being a man, is being hard.
Can you not?
I'm just quoting, Oda.
Oda?
Yeah.
There was a crazy SBS too. I don't know if you read it, but it was like some 8-year-old kid that wrote to Oda and was like, Oda, like something about getting bigger. And he said, oh, this gets bigger. Can you make my mom and my sister's boobs bigger and my penis bigger too?
Whoa.
And Oda just like responds with the most like not responding to what he said, but also kind of. It is so weird. I was like, who allowed this to be? Out of all the questions, so odd.
They were short on questions.
So crazy. I just wanted to say that before I forgot, but I was like, what is happening?
Yeah.
An 8-year-old boy, like, chill.
I mean, yeah, it's weird when you're a kid and you get your first boner. I mean, I thought it was okay. I thought it, when I got my first boner, I thought it was a magic trick. I thought I had learned something. I thought I had learned something that nobody else knew about or could do. And it was a whole thing. Yeah, there's some other SBSs that I want to talk about too.
Yeah.
But then we see, and again, apologies if it seems like we're jumping around, but then we get Fujitora, who's now with Doflamingo, right? And he tells Doflamingo his plan, which is that he wants to completely eradicate the 7 Warlord system.
I have a theory about that.
Really? Do you want to say it?
I
say it. I should just say it.
I mean, it's like we get to the end when we have the theories, So should I wait or should I just say it?
I kind of want to hear it.
Okay. No, it's pretty basic. I mean, it is just like, obviously, I mean, I don't know for sure, but if they do end up, taking back Dressrosa, if they do end up if Law defeats Doflamingo, if Luffy does, like, if that happens, Fujitora is going to be like, yeah, we're getting rid of them, like, for sure. Like,
the 7 Warlords.
Yeah, I think for sure after, if he doesn't end up running away or doesn't end up, like, I don't know, weaseling his way out of it, if he doesn't, then it's going to continue, but it's just like he is the greatest example of, like, the slimiest.
Doflamingo.
Yeah, as of right now. Like, Boa's pretty much just using it to, like,
protect her island, yeah.
Mihawk is, like, aloof. The other ones are, like, whatever. And I guess Moria, too, right?
Well, Moria's not a warlord anymore.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
That's right. He's missing, isn't he?
Yeah, they it looked
dead.
like he was killed, but then it was also, like, something was also said that made it seem like he's just missing. But
yeah, I think that they're going to disband it.
Yeah, for sure. I think they're going to disband it. I mean, he talks about the Reverie being this year, and he says that the world will act. And I think that a part of it, too, is that the world, for whatever reason, Fujitora he's a Navy man, but his compass is pretty true, and he's got a good head on his shoulders.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that, he believes in, like, true justice. He doesn't believe in the corrupt nature of the Navy. There was a line that he said that was very powerful. He's like, do the Navy consider themselves to be gods because of the way that they act? Like, this is a group of people that I think, he is trying to, like, I think he's maybe going to try to weed out a lot of this corruption. And I think that, like, Fujitora, I think that Kobe, I think that all of these people are going to be and even Aokiji maybe somehow coming back and dethroning Akainu. They're going to try to, I think, like, create this new world government that actually gives a fuck about people and actually cares about people and actually protects people, not these old heads who have just let, all this power go to their heads, which is similar to our politicians, okay? These old fucks, all right?
Get them out.
Get them out.
Get them out.
All this fucking bullshit that they're passing.
Like, they're like it is the world government, like, yeah. I can't.
Yeah,
I can't.
So
I'm not going to I could go on. I've been going on. But yeah, I can't. Luffy needs to get in there and fucking.
All I'm saying is Luffy wouldn't stand for half the fucking shit that's been happening, and especially at the time of this recording, which again, not to derail the episode and go too into it, but it's just out of control, dude. Get these fucking old people, like, out,
bro. There should be an age limit. I mean, like, what?
Yeah. We need our own Fujitora, okay? We need
real.
our own Kobe.
And it is interesting that you say that and that he would say that, because he said, if does a world government consider themselves gods? And the will of the D, the people that carry the D, are the ones that are gods, that are the destroyer of gods.
The enemies of gods.
Enemies of gods. So gods could be the world government and also the celestial dragons.
Yeah, no, I mean, and that's even what I think, Corazon says. He says that if you think of that term, gods, as the celestial dragons, as the world government, then, it could be said that you are destined to take them down. However, I think that it's actual literal gods. And those ancient people, I mean,
ancient people. Oh, the ones we haven't even found out about, the tall guys.
Oh no, I mean the ones that the ones that were wiped out, the ones that lost the war, the ones
yeah.
I think that they had something to do. I don't know, but I think that the gods are literal gods, and they just want us to think it's celestial dragons and the world government. But we shall see.
Something else.
We shall see.
But if there's gods, there's demons.
Yeah, and those demons have fruits. And they're called devil fruits. Mystery solved. Thank you for watching another episode.
Thank you. I think we're done. I don't think we need to read anymore. I think we figured it out. We figured it out.
We cracked it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry if my baby, well, I don't even know what you call it, baby bonnet or whatever the fuck. My baby bonnet keeps slipping. Anyway. So yeah, now the finals are underway. This is it's like we spent a lot of time at the Coliseum, and then like Sabo joins in the fight, and then all of a sudden it's just like we're getting like very quick pieces of what's happening or glimpses, flashes of what's happening in the
and also
Coliseum.
Like glimpses of what Sabo is capable of too.
Yeah,
like very quickly we're able to see like he is a very skilled fighter. We know for sure now. I don't know if it's been revealed yet, but it is just like, you would theorize that he was with Dragon this whole time. And, once he did that like Dragon Claw thing, I was like,
well, yeah, man. I mean, that Dragon Claw is crazy. And I am missing something. I mean, let me hear the theories in the comments without spoiling anything. What the significance of dragons are in all of this, because, we got Momono's. Okay.
Oh my God.
I'm gonna say
After
it right.
all the fucking comments that we've gotten, right? You still can't say it.
Momosuke. I think I got it right. Okay, yeah, we got a lot of comments. Thank you for your help. I can't pronounce anything, but I appreciate the guidance. Thank you so much. But with the significance with the significance of D, does D stand for dragon? Maybe. Luffy's dad's name is Dragon. Like, there just seems to be a lot of significance around dragons. And
I didn't even think about that.
And I want to know what it's all about. Interesting.
But, I mean, yeah, tag your comments, spoiler, please.
Please.
Please don't just say it.
We also just see real quick that Diamante has the ripple fruit, which is pretty cool. He's the flag man.
Diamante is a bitch.
Yeah, I mean, they all kind of are, but again...
Diamante's a bigger bitch than all of them. And he's like a big bitch, Yeah,
he's big. He's a big guy.
Yeah.
Big guy. Then we cut back to Luffy. And Luffy, I mean, he's just getting impatient, dude. They're trying to infiltrate the castle. They try to use this, like, pulley system to get up. Like, Viola's trying to do her best to sneak them in. And he's like, you know what? Fuck all this shit. And he just kind of busts through. And meanwhile, like, Doflamingo's getting reports that Luffy is in the palace, but
he's sweating a little bit.
Yeah, he's looking at the monitor. He's like, well, then who the hell is fighting in the Coliseum then? And
in his place.
Because that person is also extremely powerful. We get some more toy soldier stuff. The toy soldier tries to make his way to Doflamingo, but is pitted against Lao G. And Lao G, I think he's anything but a G, to be honest.
Really?
He's kind of a G, I guess.
He's a little underwhelming.
Yeah, he's not my favorite. He's not my favorite of the family, of the Don Quixote family.
For sure.
But this toy soldier, we finally get it revealed who he is, but I think that was pretty obvious. I think that wasn't really...
Yeah, it wasn't like oh my God. There was definitely more face crack reveals in this half.
Oh, yes.
This was not one of them. And as much as I did love the story, watching it all unfold, like Rebecca and her dad, like, again, I just predicted it. So it wasn't as like, it didn't have as much weight for me.
It doesn't mean it wasn't good.
No,
we didn't enjoy it, but it was just like, oh yeah, I kind of figured that's what was happening.
Yeah, for sure.
So to see it unfold, you're like,
okay, yeah.
All right, let's keep going.
I feel bad because I really do like Rebecca. But I just, again, like, I found so many, I found the other two backstories in this way more interesting. And I know that we definitely had to see what was going on with the toy soldier and everything, because obviously this is their kingdom and they got to work it out.
Yeah.
But I did like the, I guess when all the toys turn back, like that was a really like a highlight moment for me. That was like so cool to see.
Yeah, that was awesome.
But anyway, I'm getting ahead of myself a little bit.
Yeah, so the toy soldiers against Lao G. You got some of the other Tontatas or
Tontatas,
whatever they are.
I don't
called.
think we got a comment about
we did it,
so maybe it's probably right.
So maybe we did, but I like to call them the Tatas. They're just kind of doing everything they can, sacrificing themselves to allow the toy soldier to continue onward. Luffy and the gang and his gang, they meet Pika, the stone monster, for the first time.
That was crazy.
Pika is
simulation man, like
no, the not the simulation man, the assimilation man.
I said assimilate. Maybe it's the mask. Sorry.
Oh, I thought you said simulation.
No, assimilation.
Oh, we're the ones living in a simulation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. But yeah, he was crazy. His devil fruit ability is absolutely insane. And I want to talk about devil fruit abilities when we get there later on. Try not to wipe off my very real mustache that I have right now. I want to talk about devil fruit abilities when we get closer to the sugar stuff, because I think Pika's devil fruit is insanely powerful. Obviously, so is Law's, and we learn more about that too. But Sugar's devil fruit abilities not only seem extremely powerful,
it's overpowered.
But like her powers just seem to do a lot that like really don't have to do. Like one doesn't seem to really have to do it. It's like she got 3 devil fruit abilities in one ability. And it just seems like extremely convenient. And
no, for real. And it's just like, it would be one thing if like they turn into toys and people are missing and half the population is just missing. They don't know. One night everyone just got blipped or something, or like, the town is having these disappearances. No one knows where everyone is at, but they know of them. Like that would be so much more believable than, okay, she turns people into toys and then everyone just forgets of their existence entirely. Like, what?
Yeah, I mean,
like it's kind of crazy. It's kind of crazy.
She could turn people into toys. She can erase them from people's memories, and she doesn't age. I mean, that's a lot. That's a lot of things in one. And I think it is because, and again, it's not a critique or any, it's not anything I had any issue with when reading, but it is, I just think, to allow for this thing to have been happening for so long without anybody noticing.
Yeah.
Because they mentioned later on that there are other people that come to Dressrosa and go missing. If that were the case and that were happening over 10 years, people would get suspicious of Dressrosa, would come after their people. But, if they don't remember them, then they can't, they don't know that there's anybody to go after. So it just allows Doflamingo to keep doing what he's doing. But it is just like, it just is kind of convenient and crazy that she seems to have like 3 crazy abilities in one. And I know that there are other people with devil fruit abilities that are absolutely insane. They can do so many creative things with them, but hers just feel like, again, one doesn't really have to do with the other. And it's like, damn, that, you call the op fruit the ultimate devil fruit, but that seems like this one is pretty ultimate.
Pretty ultimate, unless you get knocked out and then everything is undone.
Yeah.
Like not killed, just knocked out. So does she not sleep?
No, you can sleep, but that's how everybody's devil fruit abilities work. Like if you were like,
knocked out?
Yeah. So like if you were like, if I had like this, the sand fruit, and I, you were sinking in quicksand and someone knocked me out, you'd either, my ability would wear off. Now that would either mean that you'd just be stuck halfway through the ground, or that, I don't know, that the ground wouldn't be sand anymore. You'd be fine. But yeah, just give her a good old whack over the head.
Scare.
Yeah, good old scare.
You can't give her a whack.
Then we cut back to, and again, a lot of this is set up for what's going to happen later. We cut back to the Coliseum. That's when we see Sabo use his Dragon Claw against Burgess, which is absolutely
insane.
Insane. He's like, it's not a claw, it's not a hand, it's a claw.
Yeah, my hand is a claw now. I was like, Sabo, chill.
I was like, Sabo, dude.
Sabo, don't touch me. Don't touch me with them claws, Sabo.
What did you say? You said Sabo has like wholesome daddy energy.
Yeah, Sabo is definitely like, we were talking about like chaotic, like
alignments.
Yeah, like alignments, and like Sabo just seems like a lawfully good person.
Or maybe
would
even
you
like
say?
Lawfully, but maybe even neutral good. I don't know.
Neutral good? I don't know. He's just very wholesome. Like all of the brothers have such different energies. Like Ace is definitely more alike to Luffy because of his like unpredictability and how, he's just like I don't know. They're very similar, but Sabo is just like straight, just cute, wholesome. Like he just gives off like a trusting vibe.
Yeah,
he's very level-headed.
Yeah, dude. Sabo's got that. Like I think you said it perfectly. Wholesome daddy vibe.
Mm-hmm.
Wholesome dad. That's a wholesome daddy right there. Anyway, he's kind of fucking shit up over there. Then it cuts back to, now we see Sugar and she's turning, I'm going to call him Cabbage because I think that's pretty funny when Luffy calls him Cabbage.
That's hilarious.
He gets turned into a toy. And that's why I wrote down the note about the memory wipe being a little convenient. Then we cut back to the Tontatas and their plan to take out Sugar. How they plan to take out Sugar is with a ball of Tabasco sauce. And, this is pretty funny too, because they have this whole plan. And I think it's a great plan.
Yeah, I thought it was very solid. I thought it was going to work. I was kind of worried about the smell because it's like it definitely would smell different than a grape.
Yeah.
And those grapes look tasty. Like,
oh,
damn.
Yeah.
Like, I thought they were olives because the way she's putting them on her fingers, she's straight up just like
puncturing them. Yeah.
I was like, damn.
Yeah.
But it was very sound.
It was a good plan, and I believed in it.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, Robin kind of stopped it from happening because they were going to get caught. And then they just decide, we're just going to barge in and we're just going to shove this grape down her throat. And I was like, man, that was such a good plan.
They're like grabbing her and she's like.
Yeah, I was like,
Robin,
man, you guys had it.
And Robin got turned into a little toy.
Robin did get turned into a little toy.
A little Raggedy Ann action.
I also like how the toys don't look anything like the people.
I like that too.
I like that a lot.
Yeah.
I like that a lot. But solid plan. Robin tries to lure Trim, what's his name? Tremblow?
Oh, yeah, that guy's nasty.
The slimy, the booger man.
Yeah.
Not the boogeyman, the booger man.
Booger man, yeah. He's very, he's gross.
This is where Usopp delivers his line. He says, listen, Tontatas, if anything goes wrong, dude. I also like his line where he says, I could do all this easily. I could do it easily, but, it's, you guys have to fight your own battles. And you guys, it's going to mean more if you guys do it. So I'll just hang back and let you guys handle it. But if anything happens, I'll come in and I'll save the day.
Can you do a Tontata cry for help? Saying like the Uso land like speech, like, because I can't do the baby talk. I always mess it up.
He's our hero. He's gonna come save us. We believe in Uso-wan. We believe in him. These motherfuckers are so gullible, dude.
They really are.
They take gullible to a whole nother level.
I mean, they do, but like again, like everything leading up to this point, like Usopp. We're right in that vicinity, right?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. Can we talk about that? So pretty much Usopp runs away. Things are going awry. People are getting beat up. He's like, Robin's turned into a toy. He's like, okay, I gotta go. I gotta get out of here. I'm done. And it's so funny because this point, Frankie's like, Usopp, it's up to you. Everyone in their own little fight is just like, Usopp, don't mess this up. Like, you got this, dude. Like, we believe in you. You're gonna do this. And all of the Tontatas are like, Usopp, Usopp is going to save us.
He's gonna save us. We believe in him.
We believe in him. He wouldn't abandon us. And he did, and he's running. And I was like, okay. I mean, I get it was for the moment of him coming back and telling them, like, don't trust everything you hear, but now I'm gonna be your guy. I was like, it just didn't feel believable to me that he would do that. Like,
maybe that was more old Usopp, not post time skip Usopp. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, I mean, it just felt like it, we were saying, like, it just feels like it was, it just kind of like a little out of character. Like, I get that he's done that in the past, but I was like, he's running away. Like, is it, maybe it was maybe just for like comedy or something? Like,
yeah, I think.
Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah, I do.
No?
I do. I mean, I'm more so, I guess, like when I think about it, I think again that it does seem like, post time skip Usopp, and Usopp really like, I feel like when he
pre-time skip.
Sorry. Whenever he is really like, put in the position where it's he always wants to run away, but when things get real, he'll still run away, but there comes a point when he will step up and do what he needs to do. And he did here, but the way it was set up was like crazy because you're like, Usopp, what the fuck are you doing? Like he just kept running and kept saying he was gonna, like, even as things got more and more dire and people were dying in front of him, or not dying, but getting severely injured in front of him, and his crewmate is getting turned into a toy, which I guess then, he wouldn't even remember her. So,
that's right.
So him
that's right.
running away, I mean, he wouldn't even remember. It was like, damn, dude, like, you're better than this, Usopp.
Yeah, and I knew, right when he was running, I was like, there's no way.
There's no way
he's just gonna, like, bye.
But it felt like Oda was really setting it up
to
be like, I'm gonna see how much I can push this, and I'm sure there were some people who were like, he's fucking gone. He's fucking
all
gone.
All the Usopp haters were like, see, this is your boy.
Nah,
see?
dude, but he's a man's man too,
and he
dude.
Don't
fuck with Usopp.
He came back, and he was like, I'm gonna be your hero. Never forget that. I was like, damn.
He's like, But he did say, he's like, I'm not a hero. I'm a pirate. Mm-hmm. And you guys, he basically says that, I have to go back because you guys are just going to keep sitting around waiting for a hero. I'm not a hero. I'm a pirate, but I'm going to step up today, and I'm going to save the day and put a statue of me next to Nolan, the liar. And it was a really cool moment. It ended up having a really cool payoff. But again, just how far Oda pushed it, I was like, Usopp, come. You're kind of still you get docked a few points for running away at such a dire point in time.
Yeah, it did make me laugh out loud though, how everyone is just like, Usopp, you're gonna do it, Uso land. They just running crazy. Away. That's why I was like, it was mainly for like the joke, like, I don't know.
Yeah, just to be clear, there's someone who's gonna correct us and say that that it was very on brand or
I know
it shouldn't surprise us, but it doesn't. But
still, I was like, okay.
But at that moment where he did finally come back, which we know Usopp always will do, was fucking awesome.
Yeah,
and
I
kind of
it.
worth all that build up.
Yeah.
But just to keep the train on the tracks. So basically where we left off is, we get this really cool speech too from the Tontatas about believing in their captain. And I think this is just something that's also kind of echoed later with the Straw Hats' belief in Luffy. And I think that's also something that Usopp and even Robin, before she's turned into a toy, really see, that they are dedicated to this captain who is then at this point revealed to be Kyros, the greatest gladiator in history, or in the history of the Coliseum. But I just think that this is something that's also echoed with them and their loyalty and how far they're willing to go, and how they're willing to do everything and give their lives for their captain, just like the Straw Hats are willing to do for theirs.
Mm-hmm.
And that was a really cool speech. Even though the reveal we kind of saw coming, the speech leading up to it was really cool.
Mm-hmm.
So, the toy soldier now, he's kind of moving on because his fellow comrades have given him the opportunity to continue on, and he comes across Gladius, who's a pretty cool guy, who just makes things explode, pop, I guess. Then Luffy comes to save the day. Kinemon is he's roaming the castle as Doflamingo. This was just a funny thing to see. It didn't really do anything, but it was really cool to see him pretending to be Doflamingo.
And they're like, "Who's young master?" And they're like, "That's what they call it." Oh, that is me. Yeah, that's me.
We already talked about Robin getting turned into a toy, and Usopp running, and then him coming back. So now we get a little bit of Kyros' backstory. And this was a really solid moment for Kyros and a really good backstory. But again, compared to all the other backstories that we get.
I hate to say it. I hate to say it. And it is just like, I guess it was the anticipation that fueled it way more. I mean, it lived up to the hype for sure. And, everyone was like, you guys are going to, the Law's backstory, Doflamingo's backstory is so sick. And there was definitely anticipation and definitely okay, let's get there. I thought we were going to get it in part 1. Okay, it's part 2. Are we going to get it or not? It just definitely, I think, outshined this story because
definitely.
We were getting pieces of it and it was just we know, okay, so he did this. Okay, we see that. Okay, and we know the relationship now, and it wasn't bad, but yeah.
It wasn't bad. And a lot of what you were saying, I think, is true here again, where, we had kind of been given so many pieces to the puzzle up until this point that by the time we got this, I don't know how many chapters dedicated to this backstory, it was we kind of inferred all of that.
For sure.
And so it was a great backstory.
Most of it. There are things that I was like, oh, okay, that's interesting. I know we got the final finalization of like who Violet is and her relationship with like obviously that was like Rebecca's aunt.
Yeah, so it's her sister, which is something that I think again was like heavily implied because not only just because they're names, but you just start putting it together that they were sisters. That's something that I also inferred in the last episode from just the information that we had given. I was just confused,
and then they finally said it, and I was like, okay, that's what I was waiting for. Like,
yeah. But, I do empathize with Kyro. And again, this is a great backstory. We really see at a powerful line, where he is someone who was raised in the slums. We've also seen previously we saw the kind of leader that King Riku was. It's very funny to me too, though. I know that there are, even in a perfect kingdom and a peaceful kingdom that he is running, that there's still gladiator matches. Like, that's pretty crazy.
I mean, back in the day, they had him too.
No, yeah, for sure. But I mean, like, he keeps going on and on and on about how, like, he doesn't want to mistreat the Tontatas, that he respects them, that he's going to give them reparations, that he's not going to, they trained Rebecca to never fight. Like, it's just a peaceful country. He's like, but we're also going to have, maybe not battles to the death, but we're going to have some pretty fucking intense Coliseum battles where we pit criminals against each other.
Yeah. I mean, they're criminals. Again, it's like morally, like, who are you willing to, like,
I mean, for sure.
Die,
for sure.
I guess. Yeah. But yeah, it is pretty crazy that he's just like, I'm an advocate for everything but this.
It was just funny. It was just funny because you'd think that a king with that kind of mentality would like just like have a jail and put people in jail. But he's like, no, I want them to entertain people in battle. But he had a heavy line where he was someone from the slums who was just doing what he had to do to survive. He killed people because they were trying to kill his friend that branded him a murderer. And he had some awesome lines of dialogue. People love beasts when they're in cages. And that moment where he feels so just like life and his situation has dealt him such a bad hand that he says, I wish that everyone would just forget all about me. And he's, a broken man in tears who I don't think believes that he deserves anything.
Yeah. And I don't think he deserved that. I mean, they're literally trying to kill him and they're like, you're the worst scum on the earth. I was like, damn.
Yeah.
But then he, like, as he was in the ring, he kept killing. So I guess it went up a little bit.
We don't know if it was to the death, but,
we can only assume.
We assume, but I'm sure maybe it was just like defeat or whatever. But I really did, empathize with him a lot. He ends up becoming, after torturing himself and not allowing himself, forgiving himself or thinking anything that he is worth any value. He just keeps throwing himself in all these fights, even though he's won his freedom. Till finally, King Riku says, "Dude, just he says something like, see the sunshine. Like you gotta get out of this Coliseum. You gotta start living." And he becomes a member of the royal army, and he meets Scarlet and Viola, and that was a funny moment for me too. Again, I love that when they first met, that she hated him and didn't like him. But it was so funny. She came around real quick.
Yeah.
She came around real quick.
It must have been some crazy shit because this girl faked her own death to be with this man. Okay. He must have, I don't know what. It must have been.
Yeah.
It must have been wild. Okay?
Yeah, I have a feeling that even though he's missing a leg, somehow he still got two. Somehow he still got two of them things. I got a feeling, dude, because she went through a lot. I mean, she did a 180.
She switched up so quick.
She switched up and was like,
died.
I'm gonna pretend to die so I can be with you. Because that Cairo,
Bro.
that Cairo love is just a different kind of love.
It's a different kind of love.
Yeah,
Damn.
A gladiator in the Coliseum and a gladiator in the bedroom. I feel like
both.
And he won thousands of victories in the bedroom too. Thousands. But they had a baby. The baby's Rebecca. Yeah,
they had a baby, cute baby.
And again,
I love how doting he is.
The king coming also in a disguise was pretty funny too.
Yeah.
And of course, he's in disguise because people would never approve of like a princess marrying this guy. Again, Doflamingo shows up. We again kind of infer a lot of this, but Doflamingo shows up. They see the palace on fire, so he runs to help. They put him in chains, and he just chops his leg off to escape, and then immediately gets turned into a toy by Sugar. But what makes him different than all the other toys is because of the situation and him fleeing through the window. and again, Sugar, she has to give people a contract. So not only, now I'm forgetting another thing. Not only can Sugar turn you into a toy and erase you from everybody's memory and doesn't age, but she can also mind control you.
Yeah, mind control you to do whatever she wants.
If she reads you this
toy.
contract, you have to do everything she commands. So it's mind control, it's eternal youth, it's, all these things. But the toy soldier, Kyros, was the only one who didn't get a contract read to him, so he can act on his of his own free will, I guess. So again, I hate to keep saying it, but it's just it's a great backstory, and I really loved it. But like you said, it was just, I think, outshined by everything else that that we saw. So Usopp does, when he does turn back and he has that huge triumphant moment, he does end up getting defeated.
He gets beat up pretty fucking bad. And that was, again, that was hilarious. What a hilarious moment.
Yeah. After everything, he's just sitting there and he just, he got beat bad.
Yeah.
But he gets fed the grape, and that's when we see that panel, that crazy, crazy panel. And that's what I'm saying. Oda was just having fun. Like the Sabo reveal panel, then again with Usopp, then like Rebecca, then Sugar makes the same face. Like, I feel like Oda was like, damn, this face, like he found it so funny.
It's hilarious.
And he had just figured it out or something. Like he had just drawn it, and he was like, this is the best thing I've ever drawn. And he included it so many times throughout the arc. I do love it though. But this face and this reaction is enough to make Sugar pass out and all the toys turn back to human, which means that everybody in Dressrosa also gets their memories back.
Oh my God.
Oh my God.
It's very emotional. People are reunited with their families. It's a very touching moment. I did like this part. I didn't think it would happen. I thought it would happen during the final fight.
Right.
So it was cool to see it before I thought.
Everybody's memories, of course, are flooding back to him. So now Rebecca's like, oh, I have a dad. And
father?
And that, again, I'm going to stop saying it, because the more I say it, the more it sounds like I didn't enjoy this part of the story. But, again, we had already known all of this stuff.
Yes.
So again, when we're seeing it, her having to react to it again, it's like, all right, let's keep going. Let's keep going. But this is when now the toy soldier Kyros has been restored to his human form, and he squares off against Doflamingo, and he chops his head right off, clean off. And that is the end
of Doflamingo.
And Dressrosa. That's the end of the Dressrosa arc.
That's it. Yeah, he did it. Yeah. I didn't expect it was going to be, I thought it was going to be Law or Luffy, but.
I must have misread the chapter length, because we're supposed to have a part 3, but it just ended right here.
Yeah. It was it wasn't as long as they were saying.
Of course I knew that. I was wondering, I had a feeling because of the string, ability, how he was going to be able to come back, or how he wasn't actually dead.
The marionettes are crazy though.
But yeah, that's what I was going to say. I didn't expect it to be that crazy.
I mean, I get that you have strings, but are the marionettes made of strings? Are you making elaborate versions of yourself?
Yeah, it's almost like is he sewing them? Is he
making dolls? Life-size Doflamingo dolls?
That look, they look good.
Does he sell those?
Do you want one?
No.
You freak? You want one?
No, I was just asking because, if you needed someone else, in your place to, get defeated by someone in battle, who better than Doflamingo? Who's going to mess with him?
But I think
that's why I would want one.
I think he needs to be somewhere close by to puppeteer him. Otherwise, you're just going to get a limp Doflamingo.
Oh.
And you don't want a limp Doflamingo.
No.
You want a hard-boiled Doflamingo. Anyway. The straw rattling.
Sorry, guys.
This is when we cut back to Sabo. Sabo crushes the floor of the Coliseum, and he finally eats the flame fruit.
He chomps that. He goes.
I was so glad that he got it and he ate it.
Immediately. He didn't just put it in his bag.
Or it wasn't going to be this hot potato thing.
Yeah. Oh, koala here.
Yeah.
Oh, I lost it. Stupid.
Yeah. Oh no. Diamante got it. It was just he got it.
He needed to do that because he needed to immediately use it.
Yeah.
It was just like, okay, power up.
Yeah.
You know?
It was so cool. And again, it's just really touching when he says like, I'm going to borrow this move from you, Ace, or I'm going to use this move, Ace. And he uses like the Fire Fist move. Again, this fruit is in the only hands it deserves to be in. The only belly it deserves to be in. It's right. It's in its rightful belly.
It's in its rightful belly.
It's in its rightful belly. Now because of Usopp being making that face and knocking out Sugar, everybody is calling him Usopp the God.
Hilarious. So they like pick him up. Like the giant's like literally holding him like this. He has his arms like this.
Yeah.
And Usopp's just like, put me down. No, he goes, follow me. And he say like, fool, lower me down, unhand me.
That was one of the funniest things I've ever fucking read.
Fucking dying.
Just that, follow me, I will guide you or some shit.
Yeah, they're like, oh my God, he is a god.
And then Oda spells out exactly what he was really saying. I was like, this is so clever, this is so funny, and I was dying.
And we get a really cute crossover of Robin, Koala, and Sabo. They know each other.
Yeah.
Koala immediately like hugs Robin. Like,
we saw
so
that
cute.
when she kind of went to be with the Revolutionaries.
Yeah. She knew them,
it would only make sense that she would know them.
We find out that Sabo's like second in command.
The number 2.
Bro.
Now, is that the number 2? Like, because what is Ivankov's place and what is Dragon's place? Is he second to like Ivankov, or is he like more power? Is there someone else we haven't met yet? Or is he second to Dragon? Like,
and Dragon's like out here raising fucking Sabo and not fucking Luffy. I mean,
yeah, but Luffy,
Luffy doesn't really give a shit, I guess.
Yeah.
And Sabo had a bad family dynamic.
Yeah,
Luffy didn't really give a shit about his, so.
And Dragon met
Gar.
Sabo before he rescued him, because they had that moment in the town.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe Dragon just likes Sabo. He's like, man, Luffy's kind of annoying.
Luffy's too much.
He's like, Luffy's a lot, but this Sabo kid, I like him.
I like him. I can vibe with him.
I like him.
I could teach him my dragon hockey.
Yeah, my dragon claw.
Yeah.
This is interesting too. When we cut back to Sabo, he declares Luffy will be king of the pirates. We know that Sabo doesn't have any interest in that. And he believes that Luffy's going to be this and wants to help him in any way he can, and he says later, despite his position, he'll always be there for Luffy whenever he needs him. He's the revolutionary chief of staff. And we also find out that the fishman from the battle earlier, Hack, is also an army soldier of the revolution as well.
Mm-hmm.
Doflamingo, of course, is alive. And so he threatens to use the bird cage. And,
it's over. It's done.
It's over, dude.
It's
and
over.
Pika, the enchanted castle, just tosses everybody right out the fucking window.
Pika.
Pika tosses everybody right out the window.
Mm-hmm.
And then the game begins. Doflamingo tells everybody, like, look, you can come after me and come straight to me and take me out, or you could take out these 12 people who I've given these stars to. Each is like 100 million berries for the 1 stars, 200 million for the 2 stars, 300 million for the 3 stars, and for Usopp the God, 500 million.
So hilarious. Usopp's just like, oh my God, at least he doesn't know me. He's like, and last but not least, the worst of them all, the one who I want the most because he literally ruined everything, Usopp. And he's just like, ah!
Another great panel. This is interesting too. Law mentions to Luffy, now that they're going after Doflamingo, because they basically, there was never any other option. At a certain point, that's what they were going to do. The plan had changed because Law says his original plan, it didn't have anything to do, despite Law, feeling he had some sort of resentment. He something was personal between him and Doflamingo that we find out now, but before we didn't know that. But it was his plan to take all these things away and have Kaido come after Doflamingo. Mm-hmm. But now that they're going straight after Doflamingo, it's like Law says, like, that now Kaido's rage will be turned directly onto us now.
I mean, it makes sense because they are the direct result of what has happened.
Yeah.
Of like everything. Even Doflamingo says, like, everything that's gone bad is because of you fuckers.
Yeah. Yeah. We already talked about the line, does the government think itself to be a god? Again, Fujitora, I love this character. He is becoming one of my, favorite admirals. I mean, this guy is awesome. This guy is so awesome. There's a joke about Pika's voice, which was pretty funny.
I liked the little highlight. Oh, so amazing. We get to see what's his name? I always forget.
Who?
Our favorite guy. Barto. Yeah. Barty boy.
Bart boy.
Bart boy. Barty boy is just like, obviously gushing over all of them. And I love the line where he sees like Robin and Usopp together. And he's just like, oh my God, Ennie's lobby heart shooting combo. Like he just knows all of their lore. Yeah. And it's such a funny device for like, people that love these characters are just like, I know. Like you just want to grab it and be like, I know, right? Like it's so amazing. It's so cool.
Yeah, I love him, dude. I love him. My captain.
Yeah, hilarious.
So yeah, this was cool because, obviously Pika's voice does not match his stature. But he turns into a giant stone statue. And this guy, again, his ability is crazy. And he's gigantic. Like, he's absolutely massive.
Yeah, they say he's bigger than oars.
Bigger than oars. Like, he's the embodiment of, like, a whole city. And everything in Dressrosa is, like, stone. And this man is just, like...
He's all the stone. He's every stone.
He leaves no stone. He's stoned for sure, and he leaves no stone unturned.
Oh yeah,
and he can rearrange the freaking landscape. This guy's crazy.
He's wildin'.
But that's when the other warriors from the Coliseum, they show up to help Luffy, and they all want to take down Doflamingo. And there was that funny.
I want to take down Doflamingo. No, it'll be me to take down Dofi.
And then of course Law, tells them that he wants to take him down because he killed someone that he loved, and then reveals that person was Doflamingo's younger brother.
Bro, can I just say?
Go off.
I think, out of everyone in One Piece that we've seen, like, Law's definitely, like, hot. Zoro's hot. He's not my favorite, but he's hot. Sanji's okay. He's attractive based off looks. Ace is hot.
Sabo's wholesome daddy.
But I don't know what it is about a man in face paint.
Yeah, bro, this is fucking weird, to be honest.
I don't know what it is. Like, I don't know why, but this man, he's the top. He's the top for me in One Piece so far.
That is absolutely so fucking shocking to me. I am
He's
shook.
the top. I mean, he is.
Like, what does that say? Like, he looks like the Joker. It's funny that they call Doflamingo the Joker, and yet his brother looks...
He's so hot. I love his hat. I love his vibe. I love how he is just like a good man. Like, his eye makeup, his brown eyes, his blonde hair, like, he's just the whole package. I
would have never in a million years.
I don't know why. I can't.
If you would have lined up every, like, Chad, every just like daddy from One Piece.
Yeah.
And if you would have told me that this would be the one that you were the most, I would have never guessed in a million years.
It's like him. The leader of the G5 base. G8? No.
G8. And Senor Pink.
Not Senor Pink. Not Senor Pink. Not Senor Pink. I do respect him though.
All right.
But I don't know. I mean, I don't know why. I just really love him. I really
You are attracted to him.
Yeah, he's
in
the
a
best.
very intense way. And I think that's just a little bit, it says a little bit about you, and there's something inside of you. There's something brewing inside of you. There's like this, like, you're attracted to this, like, chaos.
But he's like clumsy, like I'm clumsy. Like, he's just.
How do you feel about the actual Joker?
The actual Joker?
Yeah, because no, because the Joker's not a nice guy, and I think it's his looks, it's Corazon, his looks, and that he's a nice guy. That he's a good guy.
Yeah, I like clowns.
Oh, okay, all right. You got a thing for clowns, so you find clowns attractive, or you just like them?
It depends.
Is there another attractive clown that you can think of? Like how do you feel about Hisoka?
Sussy.
I mean, he is sussy, but let's just take the sussiness out of it. Yeah.
He's attractive. I'm trying to think of other clowns. I don't know what it is.
How do you feel about Bozo the clown?
I don't like Bozo dubbed over.
Okay, another reference.
Oh, fuck.
How do you feel about Ronald McDonald? That's absolutely insane, and I won't fucking stand for it. I will not stand for that. You are out of control, and you need to be helped.
Okay, don't
call 1-800.
Do not compare Corazon
to Ronald McDonald.
Ronald
I'm not comparing them, but you asked me to name other clowns or think of other clowns. What about Krusty the Clown?
No.
It sounds like you don't even really have a thing
Okay,
for clowns.
it depends. Okay, these are different clowns. I'll make a list, okay? I'll pin it.
Tier.
I'll
what
pin
about
it.
Pennywise? Oh my God. Oh my God. Please, can we move on? Please. I'm learning too much about you today.
I do like the Joker. I like Joaquin Phoenix Joker. And I like
Heath Ledger
Joker, yeah.
Do you think that they're in their Joker makeup? Do you find them attractive?
Yes, more so than them without it.
Wow. That is crazy.
Comment some clowns. Clowns you'd like to
right.
fuck. Clowns.
Right.
Clowns.
You'd like to fuck some colts. Whatever. Can we move on?
I'm sorry. Anyway, now we get to see why Law's so upset, and we get to see him.
We don't get to see it yet.
We get to see it right
now. We do, again, just to keep it on track. Viola, she wants to get the key to Law. And she has a cool line here because she says, "I don't give a fuck about the government and their, this flag that they claim is justice. At least there's a beating heart behind the Straw Hats' action."
I wrote this down too. This was a highlight for me.
Yes.
There's a beating heart. At least there's blood running through the Straw Hats' words. And this is so fucking important because, when the Straw Hats say they're going to do something, they're going to fucking do it. They're not going to turn their backs. People can talk. People, actions are stronger. Actions are louder than words, right? You can believe someone on their actions, not necessarily their words. And she's realized that because they kind of say her, you're gonna trust these pirates? She goes, I don't give a shit.
Yeah.
Even with the kids too, you can't trust these pirates, you can't thank them, and they're like, I don't care. They're
She's
the
like,
only ones that came for them.
At least the pirates are doing something.
Yeah.
And at least there's intent, and at least there's good behind, there's blood behind what they're doing. They're putting their lives on the line to make a change.
Mm-hmm.
At least they're trying to make a change. What does the government do? What does the real government do? Nothing except give themselves power.
Give someone that is the leader, Doflamingo, extreme power.
Just so that they can continue to profit, just so they continue to do whatever they want to do, just so they can continue to manipulate.
Oh.
It's absolutely infuriating. It's infuriating.
And it's too real. It's too real. It gets my blood pumping.
God damn. And then we get to see an awesome encounter, Sabo versus Fujitora. And there's that whole moment where he, tells Fujitora, he's like, I'm Luffy's brother, basically. And that this is the point where he says, he is going, after receiving the news of Ace, if Luffy ever asks for help, I will race to his side, no matter my position. I will never go through that again. And we see Sabo getting the paper.
Oh my gosh.
And oh my God. And you watched this in the anime too, right?
Yeah, but in the manga, just that little, 3 panels, just the little receiving the news and then just falling to his knees and screaming, so sad. And I really want to know the reason. I'm sure we'll find out, but I want to know the reason why he never reached out. He never was able to talk
we
with
got a
them.
comment about that. Someone said that there's an episode in the anime, but if it's not in the manga, then I would think that that's just not necessarily. Well, I mean, I guess technically it would be kind of like filler, but
yeah,
they said that there's an episode where they kind of show what Sabo was up to.
Yeah, I want to know, but yeah, in the anime it was really sad. He's obviously with Dragon and Koala, and he's reading the newspaper, and he's just freaking out, and it
broke my heart.
It's another level, it is. That's what makes me I want to know why he chose to not reveal himself to Luffy and Ace, just because Ace died thinking that he was dead.
Well, I think a lot of what happened is Luffy knew because of the again, I got commented or corrected on it again, but the Vivir car paper or whatever, I'm so sorry. Please be patient with me. Please, I'm sorry. I'm coming to you dressed like a fucking baby, and I'm asking you for your apology on my pronunciations. But he had Ace's paper, and that's what kind of gave it away. It wasn't in the news. Nobody was talking. I mean, there were whispers of it kind of going around, but maybe Sabo was in a place where he didn't find out until it was too late. Luffy had that when Ace's paper started deteriorating.
No, I mean just like in general.
Like after Ace's death?
Before Ace's death, for the whole time.
Oh,
I mean, he was definitely seeing all the wanted. He was definitely seeing Luffy's berry count rise,
because I think they were just off, kind of achieving their own goals. And
but
when
when they think you're dead, I mean, they don't think that you survived. Or maybe he thought that they did. I don't think so.
Mm.
You know what I mean?
Now I know what you're saying. Now I get it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know.
Well, we might find out. I might just watch that episode of the anime if it is only anime only. But yeah.
Even though I don't know how I feel about that, because if it's anime only, again, it's not. Is it officially canon? I don't know. Anyway. And anytime Sabo calls himself Luffy's brother, man, it makes me so emotional. I get so emotional, and it really makes me tear up. Like this sibling dynamic that they all have, it gets me. Then we see, now that the bird cage has been deployed and the game has begun, we see Fujitora and Sabo start to fight, and Fujitora's like, I wonder if my meteors can make it through this bird cage, dude. And that was so crazy that he's pulling one through and it gets sliced up, and he's like, well, I mean, I can't be as accurate as I'd like to be. Didn't mean for it to be that widespread, but I mean, this guy he is so cool, man.
Dude, he's extremely powerful. Like, extremely.
Now, Luffy again, they're on the way. They're climbing up the levels. Trying to get to the palace, because the palace has moved. Like I said, the landscape has been rearranged. Luffy and Law, they get tricked. And they end up in this like well that's been turned on its side, and a Doflamingo puppet shows up. And
they don't know it's a puppet though yet.
They don't know it's a puppet yet, but they're saved by these like two guys that were. I think they were like religious followers of the god of Usopp the god. But and there's just a moment where like Doflamingo's just toying with them, and Luffy gets frustrated after the puppet's defeated, and he's like, I thought this was a shortcut. You know what? Fuck it. I'm going to make it a shortcut. And he just like punches straight up.
As Luffy does. And
that's why we love him. Then we cut back to Bart, Rebecca, and Robin, who are now using this TAL jumping service, these beetles. That they can't fly, but they can kind of like float,
He's like, you have to take the beetles. And they're like, we can't. You just said, he's like, but you can't. You're too heavy. And they're like, okay, then how are we going to get out of it? But we have to go now. And they're like, make up your mind.
Yeah, and they push him off the cliff, and they're like, why would you do this? And then, of course, they can
brace their fall.
They can kind of float, but if they push off enough, they can jump farther and higher. And it's cool. It was a really cool thing. This is where we cut back to Doflamingo, and he teases the Law backstory, and we get to see a little. And again, Oda, you son of a bitch, dude. This is where he does it. Oda knows what he's doing. Okay, he knows that everybody is fucking, like just waiting.
They're clawing at their skin.
They're clawing. They're
ripping their heart out and putting it in a box.
They're like, please give it to me. Oh. And he's like, not yet. But he does. He goes, okay, I'll give it to you. Psych.
No, he just like, I'll give you a panel.
Yeah, I'll give you a panel. Yeah. Psych. And this is where we just see Law as a little kid, and he says that he's from White Town and he wants to destroy it all. I don't have much longer to live.
Damn.
Like, all right, well, still not going to find out what the fuck that means for another 10 chapters. I don't know if it's that long, but I was like, here we go.
No.
Not yet. Then we see all the gladiators versus all of the Don Quixote family.
Yeah, we get, I think it's right here where we get that Frankie moment.
Oh, that was a funny ass moment.
With Queen.
Yeah.
And that's like him and Senior Pink and Queen. And he is, Queen's just like ready to beat him up. And he just kisses her pretty much. And then she like gets all like squeamish. And
that was so crazy. I did not expect that. Like Frankie and Senior Pink when they're fighting. And how Frankie just like, dude, Frankie is awesome. This is why Frankie is S tier. And this is why he will always be S tier, dude. He just grabs this woman and just starts kissing her. And then she like starts to fall in love. And he's like, a woman shouldn't fall in love just after one kiss.
No, he says a young lady, and they both decide, like, because Senior Pink's been calling them kids, like these girls kids.
Right.
Because Senior Pink and him are like around the same age.
Right.
So this girl's 20 years old, so they're like, yeah, we're not going to mess around with no kids.
Yeah, they're like, it's disgusting.
Yeah, it's disgusting, and it's so funny, because it's like, Frankie's probably like, I think he's like 34, 35, and he's like the same age as Senior Pink, and it's just so funny to think about, because usually, unfortunately, in media, you always see, older guys go after younger girls. And in this situation, they're like, they're 20 years old and like, you fucking kids.
Yeah. Frankie's like, it makes me sick.
Yeah.
You make me sick.
It did hurt my heart a little bit to see him do that. Not going to lie.
I loved it, dude.
I'm not going to lie. Because he's Robin's.
Yeah, but he was just doing it. It was a tactic, dude. He was just doing it. He was finally using his charm, dude, and that's something he doesn't use enough, dude. He was finally using that shipwright charm to win the battle. It's another secret move. And I love that the Tontatas were like, oh my God, both of these guys. And then the girls outside too are like, these guys are amazing. A real man, a battle man versus man between two real men is finally gonna take place. And then he's like, Senor Pink's like diaper bombs, and Frankie's like nipple light special. Like, it was amazing.
They're both perverts.
That and the Usopp moment with the words that I will guide you, and this moment are like the funniest, like two of the funniest things in this arc so far for sure. Also just like in general, it was so funny. But before all that, and just again to make sure that we try to mention as much as we can. That's when we see the pink bees at the Tontata factory and how they kind of give the other Tontatas in the factory that message that they've been tricked.
Bro, that was dark too.
Yeah.
In that little factory, like, oh my gosh.
And they're being lied to, dude, and they're so gullible, man. They're like too gullible.
They're like babies.
We also, before that moment too, we also see that Kinemon goes down to save Kanjuro. And
Kanjuro's sick.
Kanjuro's again, so funny.
So funny, so sick. Again, Oda's just like the master of making, these characters just look so intimidating, and he's just able to implement these like very specific character, like, I wouldn't say defects, but just like character, like personalities.
These little quirks,
like, these little quirks that are just like, either like so out of the ordinary or, I don't know, but it was interesting to see because I guess that I didn't write everything down about it, but Kanjuro, there was a reference to what he said when he was like eating the bread or something. It was actually a reference to
the cabbage, you mean?
He was eating cabbage?
Yeah,
he was eating cabbage. Okay. It was Rakugo. It was like a Rakugo story.
Oh.
And Oda was like explaining it like, oh, Rakugo, blah, blah. And he's like, but I probably bored everyone saying
that's
this now.
Awesome.
So, and I was like, oh, that's cool.
I just love that too, like you said, these little quirks because of his devil fruit ability. He's able to bring to life all of these things that he draws, but he's a terrible artist.
Yeah.
And the bird that he draws, he can't even fly because he's such a bad artist. It was hilarious. I love it.
Yeah, the bird is so funny. And they're like, what even is that creature? And I'm like, okay, guys, you're mean. Don't be that mean. It looks like a bird, okay? It was just so hilarious.
And the ladders when he tries to help him escape, and they're like all crooked and frail.
Yeah, his ability's sick, though.
Did not expect him. I thought he was going to be some hard samurai, but he's just this like, he's a maniac, and I love him.
He's a maniac.
We also get to see sort of, more of the Zoro versus Pika fight. And this is where Zoro is starting to really understand how Pika's devil fruit abilities work. And there's that cool panel where Pika's pupils fade from his eyes. And, Zoro's like, oh, and now I understand. Like, he's able to, like, move his physical self throughout these, like, stones. And so when those eyes fade, he's not there anymore. And then his eyes come back, and he's like, oh, he's here now. I get it. And he just slashes right through him.
Bro,
so
Zoro
sick.
Was so sick in this moment. Like, this was probably one of my favorite, like, Zoro moment lines. Like, he was bad ass.
Yeah. Yes.
He goes, oh yeah, like, remember me, like, you might be strong, but I'm gonna be the next swordsman or the next greatest swordsman.
And he's also
alive.
he's also like, everybody's talking about Luffy being king of the pirates. Yeah. He's like, but remember that I'm gonna be the greatest swordsman that ever lived. And I'm like, there you go. Tell him, Zoro, tell him. They be forgetting, Zoro.
They be forgetting.
You gotta tell them. Yeah. Then all the Frankie stuff happens, And Viola, she's searching for the princess using her power because the princess isn't in the Tontata princess isn't in the factory.
Bro, I forgot they were fucking a Tontata princess they were looking for.
I totally forgot. I totally forgot. I
was like, oh, that's right.
We also talked about Kanjuro's bad ladders that he makes, but he also makes these like nets for everybody to climb up. And Usopp is like, why did you do that? They're all coming for us, and you just gave him this like easy route. And he's like, oh, I thought everybody was kind of struggling to get up here. I thought I was helping him. He's like, they're coming for us now. What did you do? It was so funny.
And do we get that? Is this before or after that like sick Robin moment?
Which one?
Where she has that little line. I mean, she pretty much is just like in every situation. She's talking about Luffy as a captain. Yeah. Did that happen yet?
I think it's around this time that happens.
Yeah, that was so amazing. That was so sick. Like one of the best Robin lines ever.
It was when like Barto was like fanboying over her.
Yeah, because
and she's over Luffy, and she's like,
yeah. We see all of those panels, and it's so true. I mean, she just says like in every situation, Luffy's like the trump card to get us out, because I mean, and he just is. And you know, she's like, you won't touch your hands on Luffy, and she just looks so menacing. And then Bart's like, hell yeah, and like we definitely said hell yeah at the same time in our heads. It was a really cool moment for me and him. Yeah, we had a moment there.
Then we find out that Sugar is awake, and she makes these like giant,
oh my god,
skull nutcracker things.
She's pissed.
And now we got Luffy, Law, and Kyros, Cabbage, Luffy, Law, and Kyros together. And then we get Rebecca versus Diamante. So Rebecca, this was crazy too. Like Rebecca goes off, and she's like, "Hey, I'm just gonna go ahead to the flower field, and I'm gonna meet up with Luffy there." And then Robin and Bart are like, "Oh yeah, okay, sick. Go ahead, do that."
Okay.
And then the moment she leaves with the key, like Luffy and them come crashing down to where Robin and Bart are.
God damn.
But so she's up there versus Diamante, who's a fuck, you know, and he's talking about how he killed her mom and all that.
I love that panel too. When they get to the flower field, so beautiful.
Oh yeah. But also Barto gets to chill with his hero for a second and makes him a barrier of stairs. You can just see how versatile his devil fruit ability is, and not only is he a fanboy that we can all relate to, but he's actually a very powerful devil fruit user and can do really cool things with his ability. His ability is fucking awesome, dude. And I love the man. So he creates these stairs. We find out he has a limit, and that's when that moment comes in, because we find out there's a limit to how much surface area he can create. So when a shot is fired at the stairs, he throws himself into it. And that's when Robin delivers that line about Luffy being worth dying for, which again was very, very powerful. Then now that everybody else is up there with Rebecca, Law is freed, and Rebecca is saved by all of them. And that's where that panel happens with all of them. That is just it's just so badass. Like they just look like people you do not want to mess with.
Oh no.
So now Kyros is like, I'll handle Diamante. Law and Luffy go ahead, and they're unaware of Sugar's power. So this is where the whole Usopp thing happens, and we have to stop and really talk about this. And I'm curious. Your theory up top was awesome, and I think is just true. Like it has to be true, because what we see here is that the clock is ticking, and I love how Oda just panels this all out and gives this like sense of urgency to the situation, because they're so far away. Like Law and Luffy are so far away. Sugar's kind of coming up to him. Same time, everybody's coming up the net.
I loved it. Like, it was like the highlight, because I mean, it was just such a classic sniper moment.
Yeah.
Like everything against all odds, he's going to be able to make the shot. Will he be able to make the shot? He's like calculating everything.
And she's using, like Viola's using her like all-seeing eye.
Yeah.
And she's like, okay, you see that second, window to the left? Like it's about 4. He's like, how big is it? Like, or blah, blah, how big are the panes? Like 4 foot by this. He's like, okay, well,
yeah.
And he's like, wind direction. I'm like, dude, this is why Usopp's S tier 2. Frankie's S tier. Usopp's S tier.
Oh my God.
Okay. And he doesn't get enough of these fucking moments.
Dude,
but when he gets them, he fucking gets them, dude. And this was like, yes, I agree. Highlight moment. I mean, he's calculating everything. And it was just such a, because again, in this world where everybody has all these crazy devil abilities, to see Usopp just be a sniper, like you said, true sniper shit. Like it's just so fun to see, so awesome to see, and you're just rooting for him. You're always rooting for him and just saying to yourself, like, this is why you're a Straw Hat. This is why you're a Straw Hat. Show him.
Yeah, it was awesome. So goat.
So goat.
And then we get that reveal of him doing all his measurements, and then he goes, wait, I could see their souls. I'm like, what?
Yeah, what is happening? What is happening? And I think your Kablotterman, whatever it is, theory, I think holds so true, or is so important to remember,
or so easily connected, easily the dots, just a little bit, and it does make sense as to why he was able to do that, but like how he's able to do that now in this very moment is interesting.
Where he gets that ability from, how he was able to tap into it, and what's it going to mean for him going forward. All things I need to know now. I need to know right now. Then we cut back. So yeah, and Usopp does, he lands the shot, kind of hitting his target, kind of. It wasn't designed to hit her. It was something that, what's his name? Kanshiro drew.
Like a trauma.
He drew the face that Usopp made that made her pass out the first time and brought it to life, and that's what Usopp shot, and it was so it's so
hilarious
funny.
that she's just like easy to scare. That's her weakness.
And then there was another moment with her too, where there was another servant there who had a long nose, and she's like, "Get away from me!" But then we cut back to Bellamy, who I kind of forgot about Bellamy too.
Oh yeah, Bellamy's getting fucked.
Yeah,
up.
he's getting fucked up. And there was
Human
that
shield.
law in Punk Hazard that I believe Law told Smoker, and Law said that the weak do not have the right to choose how they die. And I was like, damn, Law, that's a harsh line.
Mm-hmm.
Turns out Doflamingo was the one who said that first.
Doflamingo's like his second daddy.
Yeah, he kind of was. He kind of was supposed to be. Law was supposed to be Doflamingo's right-hand man at a certain point.
Yeah, and it's crazy how Doflamingo got to that assessment when he was literally like a child. He goes, You know what? Actually, I'm going to make this decision right now. I don't know what you're going to become. I don't know if you're going to even be strong. But you're going to be my second.
Well, he said he had a vision. He said he had
a vision.
He said he had like a vision.
Oh.
He foresaw that in 10 years.
Foresaw.
Yeah, Law would have the ability and the power to be his right-hand man. But then we finally get the battle, Law and Luffy versus Doflamingo, although it doesn't come to a conclusion in this part, but it starts to pop off. And the people who ended up climbing that net that was made end up seeing the truth and siding with Riku. And everybody is sitting there now, all betting on Luffy, including like Fujitora, who is betting on Luffy now too, because he said another line where he said like, the government doesn't even have the right to save these people. Like all the shit that they've done, like it's not even, they don't even have the right. They've done
to like reap credit.
Yeah, they've done so much. They've been, and I think that's because, they've allowed this shit and played such a huge part in all this stuff happening. Like, for it's like, it would be like if two people kidnapped you and held you hostage, and then one person rescued you, and then, you're like, oh my God, thank you so much. It's like, no, you're the person who kidnapped me in the first place. Like, I would have been kidnapped if it weren't for you. So I think Fujitora kind of sees it like that. Like, like we can't do this, like, because that would be so evil.
Yeah.
That would be so evil for these people to thank us and praise us for rescuing them when we're the ones who fucking allowed this situation to happen for so long. That's why I love this man, dude. Like him and Aokiji, the best that the Navy's got. And
for
Aokiji,
sure.
they don't got Aokiji anymore.
Damn.
So we also get to see in this fight, we it's hard to really kind of go through every move in a fight, but we do get to see two cool new moves from Law, the radio knife and the injection, which is super cool.
And I don't know if we've seen Red Hawk from Luffy either.
I don't think so either. Have we seen Octopus from Luffy either? That was another cool move that we saw.
But that was really cool. I was like, Red Hawk.
Yeah.
Okay.
This is when we start to get a little bit of Doflamingo backstory. And Law is asking him, okay, well, you're a banished celestial dragon. Like, you're a celestial dragon that is no longer, like, seen as or gets the same privileges. You left, or your family left. So how do you still have so much power? How are you still able to do all of the things that you're able to do? And he basically says, because, all of these celestial dragons live in Merjiao, and he knows of
Majora? Is that
Majora, yeah, or yeah. What? Yeah, I'm sorry. It's one of my character defects. It's one of my quirks. Okay. But he knows the existence of a treasure
that'll shake the world to its foundations, a crucial treasure. And I was like, okay.
Now, do you have any theories on what that is?
He knows where the fucking One Piece is.
And there's maybe, but I don't know. I don't think it would be that.
It would shake the world to its foundations. Does that have something to do with, the whole red line theory?
It could be a very,
because that would be the One Piece.
We're talking a lot about devil fruits and stuff. It could be a super. I mean, we're told right after this that the op fruit is known as the ultimate devil fruit that can grant the user immortality. But is there an even stronger devil fruit like that will? I don't know. Or is it?
Mm-hmm.
Is it? It can't be an ancient weapon. It can't be an ancient weapon. Is it a poneglyph that's gonna reveal more of the void in history?
It might be a devil fruit, but it might just be a piece of information. I mean, it could be like a glimpse of the void in history. Then that can be considered a weapon. Treasure,
information,
treasure
in the right hands.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I'm really curious to know what this is, and I wonder if we're gonna find out anytime soon. So we learned that about the op fruit too, and now we get the best. A lot of highlights throughout this part, but now we get the best part is Law's backstory, and we meet and we learn about Corazon.
Corazon. Say it with us. Say
well, because in the anime they did say it a little differently.
Yeah, they say like they just call him like Cora.
Yeah, Cora, aka and again his name I am again going to butcher and I apologize. Mehgan, you watch
Rockinite.
We'll just call him Cora for now, but where his name comes from is and this is what I love about Oda too, and I want to go on a really quick small tangent. There was an SBS one that I did read about Doflamingo's name, and someone saying like that, asking him, did it come from the tale of Don Quixote? Is that where Doflamingo's name came from? And what's the deeper significance to it all? And that Doflamingo's brother, Rockinate or whatever, again, sorry, is the name of Don Quixote's horse in that story. And this is what I love about Oda, and this is what I love about mangaka in general, is I feel like oftentimes in Western culture, which is where I, get most of my experience from seeing this, is, oftentimes I feel like authors or whatever will really try to overcomplicate this creative process or try to make it sound more glamorous than it actually is. And I feel like oftentimes mangaka what I love about the way that a lot of these question corners or even like author's notes or passages at the beginning of all these books, it seems to be that oftentimes mangaka just like they just demystify the creative process, and they really just are so honest about making the choices that they make. It would be so easy for Oda to backtrack and say like, yes, I'm glad you caught that. There is significance in this. But Oda's response in that SBS was just, he's like, you ready for my meaningful answer? He's like, yeah, I just felt like it. I just felt like it. It's literally that. And it's just like, I love that because, oftentimes in stories like this, we can overanalyze things. And sometimes I think authors might use that to seem like, that this creative process is way for sure more of a gift and some mysterious thing from the universe. But I love that Oda demystifies it because it is like, oh,
I just like doing fun stuff.
I just like doing fun stuff. And like, it makes, I guess, people who are also trying to create stuff and make stuff not have to suffer the same pressures that comes with mystifying it. Because to them, they sit down in front of a blank sheet of paper and go, oh, okay, it has to have all this meaning. It has to have all this symbolism. It has to have all these themes. But then they'll look to someone like Oda who goes like, no, I just felt like it. You could just, I don't know. It for someone who wants to create, it just gives them a more honest look at that process. And I just appreciate that. And that was my little small tangent. But yeah, this is when we start to get that backstory, and we learn about Law coming to the Don Quixote family and meeting everybody. We get to see a young Baby Five and a young Buffalo, which is so funny. And a young Senor Pink too, who doesn't look like
in a suit and tie.
Does not, and a little thinner. And we also get to meet Cora, who is Doflamingo's brother, who hates kids and is quiet and doesn't talk to anybody and seems to be a very mysterious person.
Bro, I was like, oh, he slapped the shit out of Baby Five, and they're just laughing about it, and I was like, oh my god, and they almost killed Law.
Yeah, threw him out the fucking window.
Yeah. I was like, damn, this is him, I guess.
And Doflamingo's explanation of this is that something super traumatic happened to him, and he hasn't spoken since, and he lost his voice, and that he hates children. So this is all feeding into this theory that I started to have. But go ahead.
Oh, and I just want to touch on too, Doflamingo's you guys have no idea how good you've had it. You guys have no idea. My life was so hard. I went through so much. You guys won't even your backstories don't even light a candle to mine. And I was like, bitch, Law.
Yeah, Law.
I think Law 10
Laws
times over.
Laws might be worse than Robin's.
I was like, Doflamingo, you were a villain in your own story.
Yeah, and you lost your money, and you could have been humble about it, but you were an asshole, and you were a bad person through and through, and used your circumstances to just validate your evil even more, justify your evil even more.
I was like, damn. Watch who you're talking to.
But okay, let me see how you feel about this, Megan. So we meet this character, right? Doflamingo's brother, and he doesn't talk, and he's very clumsy, and we've seen Doflamingo's devil fruit ability already. And there's this mystery surrounding his brother and trauma, something traumatic happened to him. And as the story starts to continue, before we get to a certain point, I start to think, no way. I thought and was convinced that Doflamingo's brother died, and that Doflamingo was puppeteering his corpse. That's why he was so clumsy. Because, Doflamingo was just pulling his strings. He was weakened at burning him, you know?
I like that because it would make sense, especially when Law does stab him and he doesn't say anything about it.
That's what I thought too.
Yeah, I was like, oh, okay.
I was like, this is exactly what's happening. And that's why I thought, maybe Doflamingo wasn't, as used to his powers or something, or maybe the distance or something. Maybe he had never done it on another person for that long. And he couldn't always keep an eye on him. That's why he would fall or light himself on fire, or I don't know. I was convinced. Of course, it didn't end up to be true.
I like that. That was a cool little journey you went on.
I had it for a moment.
Little personal journey.
Yeah. It was headcanon for a very brief moment. But that's not the case. We learn first. We learn the story of Whitetown, and we learn this because Baby Five is asking, and the other family members tell her. The Whitetown was basically this place that they lived a pretty peaceful life, and they found this, what is it, an iron? They found this mineral, they found this material, and it was pure white, and they started to manufacture goods and products from this.
They were killing it.
And they were killing it. Everybody around the world wanted it, and it wasn't until years later that they started to realize that this mining this thing was really, really bad for their health. And it was generational, that it would be passed down, and it would shorten their lifespan, and shorter and shorter and shorter and shorter with every generation. And that the government found out about this, but because they were making so much money, they were like, it's not really our problem.
Bro.
They're the ones that want to keep making this stuff. They're the ones who found it. It's their problem, not ours. We're making a killing off of it. And it led LEAD, LEAD, to the extermination of these people.
Yeah.
But
I was like, lead, it's spelled the same, right?
LEAD, LED.
Yeah, okay, I'm stupid.
I wouldn't say you're stupid, but
I'm dumb. I'm stupid. No,
just say you can't spell.
Oh.
I can't spell either, but that's an easy word.
And I was the one who brought up the joke.
Yeah, I mean, you knew subconsciously, I think.
That I can't spell.
No.
Okay,
You heard the pun and you went for it.
Yeah.
You get credit for it. But again, this is again what really moved me and just kind of shook me, and I was just, I couldn't help but just feel so devastated. And it's tricky, right? Because you look at yourself, and we could all, I think, be better at researching, because so many, oftentimes in One Piece, we're shown that these people in positions of power are so evil and do all these evil things and have no regard for human life, and they think that they're better than everybody else or deserve more than everybody else. But here it kind of falls, like, I felt a little guilty, like, damn, dude, like I could pay more attention to like the things that I buy, the things that I like, because I'm basically voting with my money, right? And like I don't know, because I started looking into it like in preparation for this episode, and found out about that town in Italy and the asbestos, and just like of course the iPhone stuff and the clothing and the shoes and all the things that we buy. And all these things like that we buy through Amazon that are so much cheaper. And it's like, why do you think they're so much cheaper? They're so much cheaper because they're not being made here. They're being made in these other countries where people, they're just lousy work conditions.
I mean, yeah, look at the whole Shein situation that I was telling you about. The clothing brand that's like fast fashion is like a huge problem in like different countries, like obviously outsourcing to like people here. Outsourcing to get clothing made by people who are not paid in good conditions, or not got paid enough, or not in good conditions, and are forced to work like long hours and just like horrible stuff. But there was like a thing about Shein recently that came out that like if you look at the tags, I don't think it's everyone, but there was a while that people were getting the Shein clothing, and on the tags it was just like like wash on cold, or hand wash, help me please.
Wow, that's
100% polyester. I was like, what? And there was so many tags that said all of these things, and it was like shocking. But at the same time, it's like we've known that this is happening, and like people still continue to buy stuff on this website because it's a cute dress.
It's a cute dress, and it's $10.
Exactly. So it is just like, it's difficult. I mean, before I heard that, I didn't shop on there, but after hearing that, it's like, if I could just not, I mean, I know it's not
support that.
I know it's still going to continue. That's the problem. I know it's still going to continue if I don't like, even if I buy, if I don't buy, but it's like, just for you, just know that you're not.
Yeah. Contributing to that.
Yeah. In any form,
And, again, this is like, man, this is the first time I think One Piece has made me feel this way. Like, because Oda has always like dealt with these like heavy themes, but it's usually, I don't know. I always felt like it wasn't like something that I wasn't already like something I didn't already believe, or something I wasn't already
conscious of
or doing,
or more conscious of, I guess I should.
But then and the government is the villain in all of this, and in this story, and the government plays a part in the real world too, like not regulating these things more,
or profiting off of them.
But they're still, and they're allowing these things to be made and manufactured in other countries and then be shipped here and sold. And
I mean,
they're
that's
very
why
aware of what's going on.
That's why junk food is so cheap.
Yeah, and they could make a law that would just say like, you have to manufacture your goods in the United States. And if you're planning on selling them in the United States, you have to make them in the United States, and that's just the law now.
It's expensive.
Of course, prices would skyrocket, and then the consumers would get pissed, and the consumers would be mad. And so this was just the first time where it was like, I've definitely, I feel like, we're all a little bit guilty of this, because like you said, it is something that we've all been told, that we all know. And it's even become like a joke, like with shoes, like the Nike sweatshop jokes and stuff like that. it's become a joke that we're so aware of, but it doesn't directly affect us. So
it's everything in our lives with the government, especially where we live with the United States government. It is just like all of these jokes that we are just laughing about that are like real things that people should be concerned about.
Yeah.
It's like the iPhone thing, like, oh, they're listening to us. Isn't that crazy? Yeah, they're just, I don't want, any commercials for this one, Hulu. Like, we know, but we're just like joking about it because like the gravity of it is just so unbelievable and so
I think that's
unimaginable that we're just like, these work conditions. It's just like for these shoes that you wear and everyone is just wearing, and there's a huge company and there's like, people in sports that are advocating for this company, or like, it's just crazy.
Yeah.
It's just craziness.
Yeah, this story, again, it's the power of good writing and good storytelling, and it just made me want to be a little more conscious of that, because again, I think that while it was based on this town in Italy that was actually called, got the nickname the White Town, I think it is also a combination of a lot of things that are happening in our world. That this story is like combining different parts of this like bigger issue, and from all kinds of different places and stories. Sure. And it really got me. It really got me. Anyway, moving on. This is when we see Law in his town. His family owns a clinic and they're doctors, and we see them, everybody from his town about to flee. They're going to evacuate, but Law is going to stay because of his sick sister. And there's a different kind of sister, a nun, who says there's always a merciful hand of salvation waiting to help. And this is, again, a really cool thing because, in the moment, and let me go on another really, really quick one. But in the moment, it looks like this is ignorance. This is a naive message. Because later we see everybody slaughtered in that town. So it seems like this nun's message was a naive message, yet when we fast forward, Law flashes back on her saying that when he has met Cora and is dealing with Cora. Mm-hmm. And I think, to me, how that resonated with me was that, it's all in how you look at it, right? Like, especially in that situation, like he was in a treasure chest and he was dying and people had risked their lives to one person had risked their life to like get this thing to cure him. And, he was still like not in a great situation when Doflamingo was right outside of that treasure chest, but he flashes back to that and he realizes that this person was his salvation, that this person, even though along the journey, he hated this person and hated that he was trying so hard to save him because he had already kind of like resigned himself to death because of how other people like treated him. In that moment, he realized like, damn, like, this person, there is always a hand reaching out to help,
For sure.
And
for sure. Yeah. And it is just like, it's like death is it's like sometimes easier than to continue living on.
Yeah.
And Law kind of like realized that. And it is like how you look at your situation. I mean, Cora was kind of like not in the same boat, but I mean, he saw his own brother like kill his dad in front of him.
Yeah. Crazy.
And he had to like continue to like keep himself a secret for wanting to like turn in his own brother just because of how like atrocious of a person he was, and seeing this kid in a similar kind of instance of like, I don't want another person to become like this because of their situation. Like,
and yeah, like you said, like they both, like at a certain point, Doflamingo and his brother both had the same life, but went completely different ways.
Yeah.
I think again, that evil was just in Doflamingo since he was born, but, but look how Cora turned around and took that pain. And that's why, again, I it's corny, but I love it. Like, there's like a, the doctor in Doctor Who is always going on these monologues all the time. But one of the ones he says is like, basically like with pain and like hurt, he's like, what you do with that pain? You hold on to it tight. You hold on to it tight till it like burns you so that you can remember it and promise that no one will ever have to feel that way again. And it is just like, I got the sense that that's what, Cora is doing here. And like you said, he sees that in Law, he's like, I see another child who has known nothing but suffering his entire life.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to make sure that, that I do for him what Sengoku kind of did for him, I guess.
Which was a shocker.
Yeah.
I mean, such a crazy, like, how, like, again, like, these little reveals of, like, who's connected is just so awesome.
And it's funny, too, the Corazon role is, like, a name, a code name, a position. But it's funny because the first one was Virgo, and the second one was Doflamingo's brother. And it's just funny how they were kind of doing the opposite thing.
Mm-hmm.
Like, Virgo was in the Doflamingo family, infiltrating the Marines, and Doflamingo's brother was in the Marines infiltrating the Doflamingo family. I don't know. It's just kind of funny how it was flip-flopped. But even that torture scene, man, when they are...
Oh, my God.
Again, like, Doflamingo's backstory, it lived up to the hype, which sounds weird to say, as I am about to say this next sentence. But, I mean, it really shows his father, and his father was a celestial dragon, and his father decided, like, yeah, we're all humans, dude.
What is this?
What are we doing? Like,
yeah.
And he chose to leave it, and it was the people who turned their anger and their sights on them and use them to pay back all the other things that all the other celestial dragons had done to their family members.
Yeah, and even before this, I mean, Doffy's just not having a good time. He does not understand why they would come from the place they lived to this shithole and like have to wear normal clothes and like have no slaves. Like, he just doesn't comprehend that the dad is like trying to integrate them in like a different world because he wants what's best for them. I mean, I guess
he just doesn't want them to be monsters.
Yeah.
Like, that think that they're better than everybody else.
Mm-hmm.
He just wants to humble them and let them lead a normal, like, human life.
Yeah, that doesn't really turn out
not at all. But I thought that was interesting too, how it was the people. And again, this is kind of like echoing some of the messaging from Fishman Island.
Yeah.
Just how, like, that despite how horrible these people would have been, or these people have been, these celestial dragons, like, and the horrible things that they've done, these people are just like, they're reinforcing the beliefs that the celestial dragons already have about them, you kind of get a little sense of that sort of from Fishman Island too. But man, some of the things that also the people in the crowd were saying, like, oh yeah, the celestial dragons, they kidnapped my daughter. She returned and wouldn't speak of all the horrible things that they had done to her, and then killed herself 3 days later. I was like, what?
Yeah, it just kept getting worse.
They took
my eyes.
Yeah. Buried my daughter alive. They did. Oh, I mean, awful. I was like, oh my God. And they have 2 children. Like, yeah, sure, the father, but 2 children.
Yeah, they don't give a shit. I mean, they literally tie them to a fucking building.
A burning
building, and they're shooting arrows at them. Like, insane. And then Duffy's just like, you know what? Like, I'm not gonna die. Like, I'm gonna kill every last one of you. And they're like, I mean, it's a thing to say. That's a crazy thing to say in the position that you're in, dude. I could see if you're maybe like, you found out a way to get out. Maybe you like got a little, you had to like knife. You knew you were going to get out of that situation. Like, a crazy thing to say.
No, he's like, I'm going to get out. I'm going to find a way to get out, and I'm going to murder everybody. Like, yeah. What a great villain backstory. So, because it's like, it is nuanced, and yeah, it's a lot. And this is when we also like learn for a second. We cut back from Doffy's flashback. We're still in the Law flashback though. And that's when Doffy says that he wants Law to be his right-hand man in 10 years. Mm-hmm. There's a scene where like Law is talking to Buffalo and Baby Five, and they're like asking him what his real name is.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, I just love the moments of Baby Five. We get to see it when they're adults, when she's like, Law, speak, like, he's asking you a question, and then he just like stares at her, and she like turns around and cries in the corner. Like, I love that part, and we see it again when she's a child. Like, every time he gives her the death stare, she turns around and cries. Yeah. They asking him like, what's your name? And he's like explaining, and then she like interrupts him. She's like, that's not really, we don't need to talk about this anymore. And he's like, you're the one who asked me. You've been asking me all day. And she's like, oh, sorry, don't kill me.
But this is where Law reveals that he is one of the D. Trafalgar D Water Law.
Water is interesting because he says D is an alias, water is my secret name. What does that mean?
I don't know. I don't know if there's a bunch of these different like tribes. I believe that all these people of the Will of the D are descendants of the ancient people, right?
I agree.
And maybe they're like these different tribes within this like society of ancient history. I don't know.
I don't know.
But that's when Cora snaps and grabs him and is like, you cannot, with that name, you have to go now.
Bro, I got cracked right there.
Really?
Yeah, because he just like talks. I was like, oh shit, he startled me, damn.
He explains to him, what having a D, what the will of the D, what D is and what it means, especially to the celestial dragons, that they are enemies of God. And he basically says that he is destined for something big, and he can't be here. Gives him this whole spiel about how he's actually like, working against Doflamingo and all these things. And so Law kind of threatens him. He's like, well, I'm going to go tell Doflamingo everything you just said.
Dude, I was like, what?
Yeah.
What a little snitch. That's why you don't tell kids shit.
Yeah, but he didn't rat him out.
And what do you think about his devil fruit?
Oh, the silence.
Calm.
The calm. I think it's awesome. I think it's really, really, really awesome.
It's definitely very useful if you want to have a meeting and
you want
to just like not let people hear you.
That's true. That's true. I also just envision there's a scene in the manga where he's going to get the devil fruit, and I just thought like, man, I wish I would have gone back and watched it in the anime, but even in live action, like there's a way to like shoot this scene and direct this scene where it would just be so crazy and like something you've never seen before, but where he's like shattering the glass, like he's used his ability on this, like on himself or on this whatever. I don't know exactly the technicalities of how it works, but the glass is shattering and there's no sound. Like the people can't hear him like shattering, breaking through, and like all the things that he's doing is just like in the manga is just like I don't know. Like I just my imagination went crazy and I kind of saw it all play out and I was like, this is fucking awesome. This is fucking awesome. But yeah, so sick. Law ends up saying like, I'm not going to tell because you didn't tell on me when I stabbed you. And so Cora kidnaps him. And he's like, I'm gonna take you and I'm gonna go. He kidnaps him.
Yeah, I'm not gonna. That's such a leap.
Switch up.
Like, I'm not gonna tell on you because I stabbed you 2 years ago. And then Cora kidnaps him.
I mean, he does. He takes him and he's like, I'm gonna cure your ailment. And he's like, and Law, like you said, like is defeated, and he knows how people treat people from White Town because they've been told it's this contagious virus, and he's like, no, I don't. This is dumb. I don't want to do this. And he kicks and screams almost the entire time. And like Law said, all the doctors they go to see like freak out, turn him away, refuse to treat him.
It's so sad. I mean, he's like literally like the most emotion we've seen of Law yet.
Yeah.
I mean, we see him like obviously crying over his mom and dad, just the whole situation, crying about all of it. But then it's just like every time like he's being told these things, is just like a reminder of how no one came to help his family.
Yeah.
And like no one's coming to help him. Like no one's able to help him. No one wants to help him. Like no one wanted to help anyone in that town.
Yeah.
And it's just like, damn. And just seeing like Corazon's face too, like he's just like feeling for this kid, man.
Yeah. And that's what he says later when he's tucking Law in one night. He tells him like, while he thought Law was asleep, he tells him like, when you stabbed me, it didn't hurt me a bit. The pain was all yours. Like, and he's tears in his eyes, and then Law starts crying.
I'm like,
it's so sad.
Someone give this baby a hug, like, please.
Yeah, and we also see that like Cora has his relationship with Sengoku, which we already talked about. And he gets the information. Doflamingo calls him and gives him the info and intel on the op fruit, and so Cora comes up with this plan to get it.
And at this point, he's like already know. I mean, it's been like 6 months. They've been on this journey, and he kind of already knows because he's been telling the Navy where to go to follow Doflamingo. Yeah. So he's like, Doflamingo actually like reaches out to them. And he's like, hey, like, where the fuck are you guys? Like, how are you? Blah, blah, blah. And he just knows like, damn, like he for sure knows I'm the spy. Like he for sure, because there's been no naval ships to go after Doflamingo. Like they haven't been able to track them down. They've had no real issues with them because he's not there to like inform them. Yeah.
And there's this whole thing about like, Doflamingo saying that he wants him to eat the devil fruit, but it's a trap, and he knows it's a trap. And Cora wants to give the fruit to Law too, because you have to have like to use its full potential. Like you have to or should have medical knowledge. So Law would be perfect for this. Mm-hmm. So he ends up like concocting this plan to steal the fruit. So he goes, and this there's a panel here where he talks about like how he goes to steal the fruit, right? Mm-hmm. And he gets it. And he's covering himself with his jacket, and he gives Law the fruit. And after he like shoves the fruit down Law's throat, it's revealed, he opens his jacket and reveals that he's like been shot so many times. And Law is like really upset and really worried about him. And he just smiles, this big smile. And he says like, when you look back on memories of me, like, I just want you to remember my smile. And it's just so fucking like powerful, because these like artificial devil fruit things are called like smile. Mm-hmm. And so something about that too, like really like hit me, like really just like, I don't know. Like something about Law's crusade to destroy this thing, and it being this like, it's like more symbolic than anything, but like it really touched me.
It was literally the last thing he saw of him. Like it was just like so emotional, and like it's so symbolic of like how his life so far has just been like, these months of him not having his family just been filled with like so much sorrow and so much like hatred and like every other emotion but like happiness, like just a simple smile. Like it was so touching.
Some would say the smile is the best medicine.
Oh, do they? Can I have some of that?
Oh yeah, if anybody needs it, it's you. You need a little smile right now.
I wanted to talk about too. There was an SBS that was really cool. Talking about the mangaka from My Hero.
Oh yeah, this was really
Hori
cool too.
Koshi. I was like, what? It was like volume 23, I guess, and what is it? It was like a fan art submitted by like Usopp's workshop or Usopp's gallery. And he just submitted like a fan art in the manga, and then Oda put it in there, and then years later, when they were having like a New Year's party for Jump, he revealed to him like, oh yeah, that was me. He's like, what? You should have told me, dude. And it just like, it's crazy how, just another reminder of how Oda's just like, obviously just he's the GOAT, and he's inspired so many people.
It's inspiring the next generation of like, My Hero. There are things that will always be great about My Hero, and there will be a time where I want
to hear Oda's thoughts on.
I'm sure he's still. I'm sure he empathizes and knows how hard it is to like,
Yeah, he's like, but it couldn't be me though. Couldn't be me though. Yeah. Couldn't be me though. I only went up, 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 up,
up. But yeah, that was really, really cool to see.
Mm-hmm.
And then Cora gives Law this message that he accidentally gives to Virgo. Of all people, he gives it to Virgo.
Of course. Young Virgo is wild.
He looks crazy, dude. You definitely got to glow up. That hair was insane. Dude. You had some Helmeppo hair.
Some people look better when they age. Some people look better when they're older. So it was just like, he looks way better than he did before. Mm-mm.
Way better. That's when, Doflamingo does the bird cage again, or I guess since this is a flashback, first time Law sees him do it. And we get to see like Law get stashed in the treasure chest, mm-hmm. and Cora in that whole like moment, right leading up to Cora's death, and him just talking to Doflamingo, who's confronting him. And Doflamingo's like, he went to go try to get the fruit, try to get the information, and Virgo. It all kind of circled back and led to this encounter. And it's just like so heartbreaking hearing Cora say all these things. And he's like bashing his head on the back of the treasure chest to let Law know like this part, I'm talking to you. Like, I'm mm-hmm. talking to you when I say that, like, because mm-hmm. he confesses that he's a Navy, because the whole time Law's like, please tell me you're not a Navy man. And because there was this whole like truth about like Law, Cora not wanting to tell Law that the government was fully aware of what it was doing to.
And he's making calls right in front of him. He's like, okay, you obviously have a connection with these
He's
people.
like, yeah, I'm helping them, but I'm not a Navy man. And then he admits to being a Navy man. And God, it was just so sad. He's just like bashing his head against the back, and he tells him, he's like, I'm not, I just didn't want to tell you because I didn't want you to hate me. And there's this flashback of him putting Law into the treasure chest, and he just looks at him with tears in his eyes, and he's like, Law, before you get in there, like, I just want to tell you, I love you. And it like broke me. It broke me more than I want to live, dude. It broke me.
It was very sad. It was very sad.
I mean, it was the most beautiful, and the panel and the characters and the moments that
like the most saddest smile.
It's up there in like some of my favorite like One Piece moments. Like it was so perfect and so beautifully tragic.
Yeah, dude. And I haven't felt like that. I like since Luffy freaking had his realization of his whole fucking crew.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, that's top, but this was just like so gut wrenching. Like the life they could have lived, like together. Like
it breaks my heart, and that's what Oda does best. He rips your heart out. He is Law.
Yeah. Huh.
Yeah. And then Cora, of course, is shot. And
in the anime, they're like, he's like, it's fine. Like, he wouldn't shoot his own brother. He's gonna be mad at me, sure, but he's not gonna shoot his own brother. And I'm like, why would you think that? You shot his own fucking dad in the head right in front of you.
Well, like, I mean, I don't know if Law knew that, but Cora's just lying
because he lies a lot. He says little white lies. Oh, I was just like, damn, I wish he was alive. Like, he was such a cool character. Like, I'm not ever gonna see him again. And just him laying there, and again, like you were saying about like Sugar and her devil fruit ability too, like him just saying like, I have to hold on, because he silenced, Law's sound so that he could escape. And he's like, I have to hold on, because the moment I die, my power is going to be gone, and I have to hold out just so he can escape, so he can be free, so he can truly be free from this disease, be free from, Doflamingo, just be free. And stop.
Oh my God, man, this character, this backstory, everything was everything. It's one of it really is one of my top backstories that we've gotten.
For real. For sure.
This one we cut back to the future, and we're almost done. We're almost at the finish line for this part, but we cut back to the present, and that's when Law tells Doflamingo that he is a D.
Bro, that shit was sick.
Yeah.
And he's just like, are you saying that Luffy was sent because of the D to take me down, a god? And he goes, nonsense. I'm a D too.
Yeah. Man, I mean,
like,
because he's like, I just learned that you were a celestial dragon today, and you're going to learn something about me right now too. I was like, let's go.
Yeah, get your revenge, dude. Like, oh, God.
And he said, Cora was too kind-hearted to pull the trigger, so I've come to do it for him. Law, I mean, you just can't. Can you stop getting cooler and cooler and cooler?
He's not gonna stop. It's only gonna go up from here, dude. Only gonna go up from here.
And so where we leave off is
literally that,
is
right?
there, yeah. And everyone's kind of scattered around. They've kind of mentioned that they're all the officers that are still standing and who they're all pitted against.
Yeah,
and everyone's in place, kind of for their final battles. And that is where we end part 2.
Wow.
I just have to say, again, that I absolutely am so in love with not just this part, but so far. I know we still have one part left in Dressrosa, but this arc is another arc that is becoming one of my favorites. Like there is a lot, right? And there's a lot going on. Like there isn't a lot of One Piece arcs, right? People are everywhere, and there's levels and different groups, and it's hard to keep track of sometimes, but in terms of like the development and the character development and the moments and the backstory and the history and the world building and the character building that we see like in Dressrosa, and the reveals and everything that we're kind of being told and shown, and then the new characters that we're getting introduced to and the returning characters like Sabo, I mean, Dressrosa is shaping up to be an arc that I'm absolutely in love with and is one of my favorite arcs. It's shaping up to be that way, at least.
For real. I mean, again, every arc, it just gets better and better. It just gets better and better. I mean, Punk Hazard, I think, was the one lull for me personally.
Yes.
There was a lot of cool things that happened. It wasn't my favorite coming off of Fishman Island, of course, but it was like one of the lulliest moments, I would say, for me personally. But coming into this, definitely, I am the type of person that I am more drawn towards backstory. I'm more drawn towards character moments. I'm more drawn towards like awesome epic lines specifically created for these characters to just be like badass and awesome. Like that's what I really, really love about One Piece, because you have these awesome fights, you have these awesome circumstances that they're put in, and then you just get this like amazing heartfelt character story that just like it solidifies so much for the character. You understand them so much more and you care about them so much more, and it is just like an awesome thing that Oda is able to do and achieve every time. Like how does he keep doing this? Why? Why? I'm just kidding, not why, but like it's great.
No, and it always lives up to it. And Law, again, Doflamingo, we talked about being someone whose backstory had a lot of expectations from me personally, and Law too. Like his backstory, there was a lot of expectations there, and they were met. They were met. I was satisfied. I was more than satisfied.
Yeah.
I can't see how this arc, won't go on to be. I mean, I just can't say it confidently right now because I haven't completed it at this moment in time.
How's it gonna end?
I know.
How's it gonna end? And then what's going to happen?
What's gonna happen after this? I don't know. I mean, I again, like you said, it just keeps going up and up and up and up and up. And I was absolutely blown away by this part, and I cannot wait to talk about the conclusion of this amazing, amazing arc. Again, like everybody has their personal favorites and things that they connect with and reasons that they connect with it. I've heard some people say that, they didn't really connect with Dressrosa that much initially because of like how it was being released at the time and how the pacing in the anime was and everything like that, and how they had to, as they were reading it week to week, it was a different experience than like getting to read it all at once.
Binge it, yeah.
But I mean, this is a phenomenal arc, and I think it's again another arc like Fishman Island that's just saying so many important things, and that's what makes One Piece one of the greatest stories I've ever read. Is how it's able to be all of these things and do all these things so well, to be charming, to be funny, and to be meaningful. Like it just means and is saying so much. And this is another arc that is saying a lot. And I can't. I don't know how it keeps doing this to me. Hundreds and hundreds, over 700 chapters in, and it keeps doing this to me.
I know. It's never gonna stop.
But yeah. I mean, I know this was kind of another long one, but
oh yeah. Do you want to do some theories? Do you have any theories?
Okay, yeah. So I mean, basically, I already said my theory that turned out to not be true. My other theory is just about was about the there was another mention of, so there's really just three things, right? There is the will of the D, and just again, I'm grasping at straw hats here, but there's something too about the god, like enemy of the gods, and D, and the significance of dragons. And yeah. I just think that somehow they're talking about actual gods. They're talking about actual gods, and the celestial dragons are so fucking full of themselves.
They think that they
think that they're gods, and they're just so ignorant because generationally they've been passed down. I also had this idea that somehow like the ancient people were in touch with like more of like, I don't know. I don't even know if this is going to make any sense, but they were, cause I think that like government plays a big part in all of this, but I wonder if like religion's going to have anything to do with it too. And just like the idea that the world government represents the government, right? But then like the celestial dragons, they also represent people in power as well, but also like powerful religious figures too.
Yeah, that's all they represent.
because there is a lot of like with the void in history and everything and how, they've kind of like manipulated things to be the way they want it to be. I just, I can't help but think about other religious like scripture and text and things that allow these people like I don't know, like the celestial dragons just have this like, they have this like religious, like these like, I don't know what the term is exactly, but I don't know, these like powerful like religious figures who think themselves to be like, above everything and better than everything because they know the truth and the true word and all these things. But D and like everything, like they like these people were more in touch with like the gods and something, and there's some connection to the gods and the dragons. And I know this isn't much of a theory, it's more of me rambling, but my other thing was like, who was that kid? Because another reason Law was able to escape is because they got, in the flashback, they intercepted another call saying that the Navy had captured another kid or had
is holding another kid on board.
Another kid. Who is that kid? Is that going to come into significance somehow?
Yeah, for sure.
And what is the treasure, I guess?
Yeah.
And the treasure, if I had to guess right now, I would think it is a devil fruit, or it has something to do with the, this could be a stretch. This could be a stretch, no pun intended, but it could be like something to have to do with like the actual gods, the actual literal gods, and or again, some crazy devil fruit that is like nothing like anybody has ever seen. And the existence of this devil fruit would have to mean the existence of this other thing. And that's what would shake the world and its foundations. I don't know. Not really great stuff coming from the Josh Theory corner. But Mehgan, do you have any other ones?
No, I think
reiterate any?
No, I think don't discount yourself. That's pretty good.
All right.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Anything's possible in One Piece.
That's true. That's true. You said all yours though?
Yeah, I just think that the Warlords are for sure gonna just get axed. I think that they have just seen like how easily Doflamingo was able like to just do this to a whole place, like just fucking like rampage, and because of his connections just able to continue to do these horrible things. I think that they'll reconsider or like have a different title for Warlord, or keep a couple and not have a bunch of them,
Yeah.
Or
because I think really quick, I just want to say, because I think what Luffy and what Fujitora is also wanting to do is like when Fujitora said that the world will decide or whatever, like I think Luffy is like for the first time like showing the world, like he's showing the world these people and who they truly are, and by Fujitora like laying back and like he's allowing it to kind of rear its head and be exposed even more, so that the people will be able to see all of Doflamingo's like what he's really been up to, and they'll really say like, yeah, fuck the Warlords.
Yeah, for real. Yeah, for sure. Also, I think that, how Law is able to give eternal life. I think he will at some point sacrifice himself for someone else. That might be Luffy at some point. I don't know if that's certain. But in a case where he does truly believe that Luffy is going to achieve all the things he's going to achieve, I could see Law sacrificing himself for Luffy.
Can you imagine Luffy being immortal?
Yeah.
Law's definitely going to sacrifice himself for somebody.
I might be Luffy. I mean, it might be. I can't imagine it being anyone else.
I can't either. Either.
So that's just, what I think. Who is the other kid on board? Crucial treasure. That's
any guesses to the kid on board or crucial treasure?
No, I can't really think of what timelines intercept that.
Yeah. And the crucial treasure, you think is a devil fruit? You think it's a weapon? You think it's information?
No, Sabo was too young. I think.
I don't know, because
I don't know
they're
if
also
Law and Sabo and Ace are the same age.
I don't know, because it's also just like odd that they keep, that Sabo and Luffy keep stating that Dressrosa really, and the trash heaps and everything like really
are
remind
similar.
them of home.
Yes.
I think there's a lot more significance to that, and maybe we'll get more clarity on it once we complete the arc.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah, I mean, if you're reading this along with us, or you're at around the same point, let us know some of your theories. And if you're already caught up and you know what happens, then don't spoil anything.
Please don't. Please don't.
But yeah, just give us what information you can without spoiling anything, or so there are people who are caught up that still say like, there was a theory around this time that was this, and I always appreciate that. And
I appreciate that, not just like keep that in mind for later.
Yeah.
You're gonna want to remember that. I'm like, please don't, God.
Yeah.
But obviously, any theories that you have, obviously, there's corrections every episode. So
mostly for my pronunciation, and again, I'm sorry.
Whatever corrections you have. And yeah, I mean, I think we have our cosplays planned out for the next episode.
Mine came in the mail today.
So I think we're all set.
I mean, the materials came in. I got to put it together. It's going to be a grueling process, but yeah.
It's going to be grueling. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. But, yeah.
Yeah.
And sorry for,
I mean,
sorry for this.
The setup, I think we did pretty good with the setup. Let us know what you think. I feel like some people are gonna like it more. They're gonna be like, "Oh, I love it! You can see all the mangas and stuff in the background."
Hopefully, next time I'm betting on next time. By the next time we record, this won't be the case. Yeah. Hopefully, because mask isn't always the nicest thing to listen to. But thank you for being here.
Yeah, thank you for being here. Thank you for being here all the way to the very end, staying all the way to the very end. That helps us out so much, and we appreciate it so much. That's going to do it for our Part 2 Dressrosa episode. Another long one, but you said you like long ones, so we keep them coming. Before we go, though, we do have to shout out, and we do have to thank our wonderful, our beautiful, our amazing Patreon and YouTube members. Thank every single one of you from the bottom of our hearts for all of your support. Your support right now especially is so, and always has been, but especially right now is just so crucial and so monumental and so important and means so much to us. The fact that you guys choose to donate financially out of the kindness of your heart, it moves us. It really, really, truly does. And again, me and Mehgan both, from the bottom of our hearts, like appreciate it. And every time, we get a new YouTube member or Patreon member, we are consistently and constantly blown away. Again, because we can throw together these cosplays, my cosplay, Mehgan's cosplay, even the makeshift screen that we had to put up today. Yeah. Who knows? Without the support of our Patreon and YouTube members, who knows if we would have been able to afford to do that? I mean, it wasn't expensive, but it wasn't cheap. So it might have ended up being another Zoom call situation. But because of your support, you're able to allow us to do other things to hopefully maintain the quality of the show and to always increase the production value of the show and just to make it better. All of your support helps us out, whether it's our time, whether it's our equipment. You have a hand in making the show what it is, and it wouldn't be what it is without you. So thank you guys from the bottom of our hearts. Thank you. I cannot say it enough. But if you're not a Patreon or a YouTube member and you would like to become one, all you have to do to become a Patreon member is go to patreon.com/volume1pod. And to become a YouTube member, all you got to do is click join on this video. We just updated our Patreon page. A lot of the same perks, but we, made it look prettier, and we added one exclusive, what do you call it? Benefit, I guess. Or,
we did.
Yeah. So go over to patreon.com/volume1pod or click join on this video to become a YouTube member and get early access to all of our episodes and access to our exclusive bonus Patreon podcast, Volume 1 Extra. And all those perks are available at our lowest tier on all places, on Patreon and on YouTube. But if you are not at a place or at a point in your life where you can support financially, or you just flat out don't want to, do not feel bad, because there are plenty of other ways that you can show your support that mean absolutely just as much to us, all of which you could do for absolutely free. And Mehgan will tell you what those things are right now.
Yes, if you have no more berries to spare, don't worry. All you got to do is comment on any one of our videos. You can comment a comment, like the video, share the video with anyone else who loves Dressrosa, and also give us ratings if you listen to us on Spotify, Apple, any other place you listen to podcasts. Ratings are super important, and they do help us out so much to be able to spread our content far and wide, and also on YouTube, especially with the algorithm. It helps us out a lot. I know everyone says like, subscribe, comment below, because it is so important, and you can do that for free, and it does help us out a lot. And we always look forward to seeing, comments, whether it be an emoji or whether it be a really insightful theory or just thoughts on One Piece in general.
Yeah, any and all ways that you show your support, we really, really appreciate. And even if you do absolutely none of any of those things and you're still here at the very end, then whether you like it or not, that's a huge help too. Because of our longer form videos, staying here to the very end, view duration is very helpful for us too. So, we appreciate any and all support. We are eternally grateful and love you so much for it. But, that is going to do it for another Done Piece episode. We have one more installment. We have Dressrosa Part 3 coming next week. Like Mehgan said, we already have our cosplays planned. You're not going to want to miss it. It's going to be us talking about the third part and the arc, even in its entirety. The conclusion. We're on the road to the epic finale. So stay tuned for that. The only thing we have left to do now, though, is to get out of here on our outro that is always the same and never changes, which Mehgan today is, Baby 5 today is, there's a lot of, we got that Law backstory. That was awesome. We got, some more, come on, Mehgan, I struggle. We got some hard-boiled man.
Oh yeah. Stay hard-boiled.
I like that. I like that. All right. I was worried that we were going to take forever, but we actually did it pretty quickly. Anyway, thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. And until next time, stay hard boiled. And shoot lights out of your nipples and bombs out of your diapers and all that. And keep it coming because you're hard.